from the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.
Welcome everyone to the Esports Club Valorant Community Cup presented by LG Ultragear, powered by Intel and Crucial with our broadcast partner Loco. Today is day 3 of the playoffs and myself CCV alongside OG Lawrence Chicken will be bringing you 2 best of 3 matches between 4 very different teams, but all the teams that are in the playoffs will be fighting for the same prize, and that is going to be a share of the 1,50,000 prize pool that is there to offer for only the top 2 performing teams. So all the players participating right now in this community cup, they are vouching to go towards the very end, and today we will see a lot of action. Definitely. OG, how are you feeling right now?
Well, I'm feeling great, CCB. And you said one thing, right, at the very end, and that could be the fate of one of these teams that we're going to see in our first matchup today. For us, it's a tale of, test. It's a tale of grit that we need to see out of these teams for them to reach the grand final, for them to reach that top 2. And I guess one of these teams now has to have that in the writing. So it's going to be an interesting matchup nonetheless, because we have that lower bracket matchup for our 4 p.m. matchup, which is right now, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, it's going to be a delight to see which team is going to take its first outing out of this community cup. And then later on, we will have one of our upper bracket semi-final matchup as well. So do not go anywhere. Let's quickly head to that bracket so we get a good understanding of how things have come to shape in this community cup. Now, hope that Revenant sent Paradise down to the lower bracket, but I think we all saw that coming, right? Revenant, one of the most favorite teams that we've had in this tournament, so we're expecting them to keep that upper bracket run, and that upper bracket semi-final matchup between Medal and Lethal, that's something that I'm truly looking forward to as well. ROG, it was a little disappointing, right? They had the bye, they had the possibility for them to keep that upper bracket run up and running, but it slipped away from them. And now they are in a similar position as Paradise Esports, because TrueRippers aren't a joke. TrueRippers are more than capable of making this lower bracket run. I feel like they are the team to make this lower bracket run, in my opinion, out of the 4 contenders that we do have. Yeah, things don't look good for Paradise. It ain't all Paradise every time, right? What do you feel, CCB?
Definitely, for both of the teams right now, I am looking forward to seeing their performances. From what we have seen, yeah, TrueRippers, they can be the contenders to try and take the win, but the performance that Paradise gave against the likes of Revenant Esports, it was an excellent performance. They may have lost both the maps. They could not go to the decider map, but they gave it their all, and it was a very, very gut-wrenching performance. They had the loss that they had to suffer as well. But now, having a look at the MVP standings, we can see that overall, it's not just about the teams. The players themselves, comprising in the teams, have had such an influence over the matches that they have played, and individual players as well. So right now with the MVP standings, yeah, Ezzy from the likes of Medal Esports, oh my, 37 kills, highest average combat score that anyone has had so far over the course of 2 maps, 285. Ezzy, I still remember him as the KO on that Ascent map against ROG Academy, and my god, he absolutely tore apart any defenses ROG Academy had, and he is well deserving to be in that first position.
Yep, and we have Knight Rider on position 2, Dean in position 3, and Sensei. So it's a, MVP standing that we could see getting contested far more often due to the fact that Revenant are in that upper bracket. We have Lethal Esports who are looking really nice. They're another team that I'm really excited to see because their phase so far in 2022 hasn't really been the best, right? This could be the nice turn in form for them, if you may say so, because you don't have teams like Enigma, like Global, like VLT participating. It's a chance for them to grab a good result. And talk about results, let's go to the veto. We need to see, okay, we're going to get Ascent. Ascent seems to be like the bread and butter as usual, although
Yeah.
Paradise Esports have opted in for a fracture. Now, this makes things a little interesting, because with the way TrueRippers are right now, it's a slightly changed roster, right? There are a couple of pieces that have been moved around, and Fracture is a map where, if I'm not mistaken, TrueRippers have a total of 9 games on. So not the deepest books, at least in terms of what they have to offer in their versatility, but I think this is the curveball that Paradise Esports were eyeing. I hope that Ascent and Haven goes well for TrueRippers, because Fracture, yeah, this is the true curveball.
Oh, absolutely. Paradise Esports, they threw this curveball against the likes of Revenant as well. R&T are also a team that don't really particularly like the map of Fracture. So Paradise went for it back then, and unfortunately for Paradise, they did end up losing 9-13. But again, as I was saying about their performance earlier, they had their glimmer moments. They had those instances where all seemed far too well, and it seemed like these guys really had their streak of dominance. But over the course of the entire map, it just wasn't to be. So for that reason, this time, who knows, maybe they've rectified their mistakes, refined their game sense overall, and will have a better performance on Fracture. But before that, we have the map of Ascent. We are going into the agent selection screen, and from the looks of it, almost all the agents have already been picked out. Paradise Esports going for that double initiator. You've got Sova and KO. Similar composition that what they had earlier, and the same can be said for TrueRippers as well. Sova and KO will be brought out. So it is Ascent. It's going to be picked every single day, and it's going to be practically the same compositions. That's just how the way Ascent is. But hey, yeah.
Yeah, we need to see how the mid control again is going to be. I think on day 1 when we did see Ascent, it was so centric around those mid ground calls, especially on the
Right.
attack. You need to make sure that both your mains are well guarded, you get your information, and you're able to then take control of mid to make a decisive mid round maneuver. That's something that's been a very, very staple strategy. Although, we've gotten to see a far lot of wacky plays, especially towards that B side. People have just gotten so comfortable in rushing, especially in the Community Cup. That seems like a strategy that shouldn't be working, but sometimes you do see it slip by the cracks. So let's see what shenanigans we have headed into the bag. Hopefully not many, because either of these teams are playing for their lives in the Community Cup.
Absolutely, the risk factor is going to be extremely different than what you would have in your risk appetite in the upper brackets, where you could do a lot more of those shenanigans because you have that safety net. But here, you are battling elimination and you're battling death, not just in the Community Cup but in the round as well. And Crosshair, he may just die. No, he gets 1 kill. Before he does, he did not anticipate that many defenders to peek him. But still, Bones has taken his position. Excellent headshot for him, looking for another, but no, Protagonist. Even the Protagonist, I believe, was completely flashed. He still landed the headshot. That's good for him. But One Tap God knows the position of this KO, and Protagonist won't be lucky in this case in the next gunfight he takes.
Yeah, it's like every gunfight so far has been just based off unfortunate timing, and come on, there we go.
Down mid.
Took him a while, but he at least landed that kill. Nullifies that man advantage. Although HP somewhat favoring TrueRippers. Objective though yet to be gained, and they need to get that plan down. They should be able to flip the switch on their way towards the site, and it should be uncontested for them to set up the post plant. One Tap God has the leverage of mobility for the moment, and he's opted to take backside. They've not opted to take that lane control for them to even try playing this aggressively whatsoever. They're playing off each other here, and does better work as a trade. Good job, Sai. Swings alongside his teammate. nails both of them and the pistol round. TrueRippers, a lot of this though was misfortune, could you say, for Paradise Esports and TrueRippers to some extent. Like, look at
Yeah.
this, timing after timing after timing, dude. How often do you see this in a single round?
It is very, very rare. Exactly what happened, because of the fact that you know, everyone was like watching for it, and everyone was watching the angles. It just was a major issue of the timing, which led to the unfortunate scenario for Paradise. They lost so many of their members. But for TrueRippers now, anti-eco, better guns, Paradise Esports, they will be definitely vouching for the next round and seeing what happens there, because this round the buy just isn't there. They're looking to save their credits.
Sai almost getting caught off guard there. Bloody has his tailwind equipped, so he wants to take the fight in this window. Is he gonna play overly aggressive now is the question, because he's creeping up A short, and in the downtime, TrueRippers are trying to lurk their way in towards the B side that's semi-stacked towards Market protagonist. He gave footsteps, he gave life away, the smoke shit enabled them to get the kill, and that is the business done. Alright, nobody broke that recon, which is surprising. The fact that he got that frag was unfortunate, and TrueRippers, they are going to be put slightly in CQC combat. Now with that backstab from Bloody, things get a whole lot tricky, and the man disadvantage, sure, but a lot of damage that he can still do.
There is
Guns?
a bit of damage that can be done. Yeah, they've got the guns as well. But it's just going to be a matter of finding your picks, and I don't think TrueRippers are going to give them any advantage because they've already lost 2 members. And yeah, Crosshair swings wide, gets 1, and that's going to be the second 4 overall. And TrueRippers have a relatively decent anti-eco. You know, they lost 2 of their members, but more importantly, they got the round done. This is their bonus. This is the time for them to save credits and for them to damage or try to damage the economy of Paradise Esports, because it's Paradise who will be investing heavily into this round. You know, they've got rifles, full armor, and TrueRippers, if they can snatch a couple of those guns, it will be monumental to their credits.
Yeah, Crosshair is 1 away from the Tode Force as well. It's gonna be a lot that Paradise Esports need to throw now to do real. Reverse the first flag, and Bloody's bloody good at this game. Just insta compensates for that jump, and they've gotten the opening here, but have they put TrueRippers to pause? They still look like they want a little bit of this business, though they look deterred at the moment. They fall back. Cool. They have no control towards B main, they have no control towards mid, which means that they need to spend a lot of time now regaining map control, which could have been capitalized by PE, but not as much so far. However, that's something that TrueRippers absolutely need to compensate for. A minute on the clock, CCV, and they've not taken any control towards B. Even if they want to go late towards B, there's a lot of Killjoy utility, the alarm bot, the swarm, the turret. It's just a nightmare. They need to commit to this A side, and they need to get the split underway right now.
Yeah, they have to commit to it. Bloody gets 1 kill. TrueRippers now, they full force, really flooding the bomb site, but they don't expect protagonists to be in such a corner. The paranoia hits just at the correct amount of time, and was also completely out of it. It wasn't able to see anything, and the KO managed to get all 3 of the attackers who were pushing the bomb site, trying to go for an execute. Really solid defense from Paradise Esports. They held their ground. They did not back off. They did not want to play a retake as well. They knew they could counter TrueRippers because they had the better guns, and that's exactly what they went for, and it ended up working perfectly in their favor. So now TrueRippers are the ones who will have an interesting buy, because 3 of their members, the ones that survived the anti-eco, can buy rifles, but the ones that didn't had to buy rifles in the previous round, and obviously didn't work out. Crosshair though has got the Tode Force, so it's just really one tap god who, well, as his name suggests, has to go for those 1 taps with the Sheriffs, and the entirety of TrueRippers, they've got to find a method to break this defense.
Took him a couple of shots that 1 tap, but finally expanded the turret. Although the Tode Force is what the main objective, at least objective maker of this round should be. The drone gives away quite a bit of the play. Flickers! Not able to land the flick in time. 1 tap god finds a napping. And that is the B side that they get waltzed into and reap all its rewards off. They retrieve the weaponry as well. And the Today Force this time around will be more powerful, right? On the retake, once you get that kill, the slow just makes things so much more hectic.
No chance.
Last player standing.
You almost assumed he got the double there. One tap gone. So precise, so quick. It leaves it all on a bloody 1 versus 3. Today Force up on the chamber. One tap got relatively low. It's doable here, but still, the numbers heavily swayed against him.
Yeah, and right now, just it's such a difficult position. Numbers 1 there. He is going to manage to save that Vandal. TrueRippers also should be looking to, you know, save all of their rifles. Yeah, they're going to be exiting from defender spawn. So another round over. The attack seems to be working for the side of TrueRippers, with the exception of that one round that took place. But then again, there was a lot going on in that round. You can't really fault them for, you know, not winning their gunfights when they only had Spectres against like Vandals and whatnot. So keeping that in mind, this time for the side of Paradise, you know, they're just waiting on it, and this is really when things get intense, because now I've been talking a lot about the credit economy. Finally, we are seeing ultimates in play as well. In the previous round, we saw Crosshair go for the Today Force. Now you've got Protagonist, you know, you've got Sai, he has the Hunter's Fury, the Cosmic Divide is present. This is where teams start to fully fledge out their executions using their ults as well, and now we'll be seeing everything, you know, working in tandem with each other.
Yeah. This slow-paced play, I'm so happy that they transitioned into this, right, TrueRippers? The fast quest for real estate was being met with resistance, and that's gunfights that you expect them to win, because they're the ones that see it coming. They're the one that opt into that decision. Yet, it hasn't been the case. And now they're leaving the mercy up to the wind and seeing where such odds take them. Although this life was gonna force the fight pretty soon. Baby Side, he's bound to be flashed. No way that they committed this kind of a push now. They need to back off, and they need to look to set up shop elsewhere. Hence, they're heading back over to B. Little did they know, it's not meant to be, my friend. The Killjoy utility, yet again, should be a big deterrent. Because look at the time, CCV. There is a lot that they need to achieve in a very, very small gap.
30 seconds left.
They better hit the metal to the pedal.
You want to fight it?
Oh, absolutely. They have to start off with this execute right now, and they will have so much in their way. Not only players, but the utility is there. The fragment prevents Bloody, moves him to an off angle where Cross is able to pick him off. But the combo that was there here towards the boathouse, they're still holding their ground. Look at Flicker, he's still present, and then Dean swings by from behind, and TrueRippers have no idea what hit them. In a way, the Cosmic Divide actually end up favoring the likes of Paradise Esports, because they could just huddle behind it without giving any sound cues to TrueRippers and then swing almost instantly, which is exactly what Dean did right now. And he was able to get both the final surviving members on the side of the attack. So yeah, the Cosmic Divide, we can understand why it was placed to prevent the rotations, but Paradise Esports also took exceptional use of that. They pushed when needed, and the people in the bomb side, especially Flicker, held his ground, did not move away, and TrueRippers just had too much on their platter to deal with and too little time to deal it with.
Now they're gonna be able to whip out the blades, TrueRippers, which means that pace shouldn't really be that big of a problem for one tap god. I feel like the essence of TrueRippers now should switch, right? It should switch to baiting out utility from the side of Paradise Esports. Because Paradise, they're looking to be so comfortable just laying back passive and vibing. And that's all you need to do on the defense, don't you? Especially on a map like Ascent that doesn't really warrant needless aggression. It doesn't really give you as many avenues for it. They're playing this textbook here, and it's so far been pretty potent against TrueRippers, surprisingly. Dash commits to the switch, but nobody to contest so far. Blooddy's on the other side with the blades of his own, but he gets quickly denied, and one tap got firmly on his entry towards the side, grabs that first kill by the head. It's all on a K-head G, and he's able to hold for the first. Master, quick trade. Numbers, though, firmly in the side of TrueRippers. 2v3 post plan, but the spike still not down and taken. Although the players certainly are. I think you'd be able to hear Dean from a mile away. Fear, paranoia, and Sai just phases him. Quick peek, quick play, TrueRippers. They knew exactly what kind of a counterplay Paradise Esports had from the updraft of Bloody to the position of KHG towards the back of the site and the double setup. It was nice to see, but it's hard to replicate something like that. I'm pretty sure in another universe where PE have a gun and they have more utility, they'd be able to contest that far more heavily.
They could have, because the previous time we saw this defense, it did work from the side of Paradise. You know, Flicker, he had the Phantom, I believe. And back then he managed to get kills. In this situation as well, KHT only has the Sheriff. He'll be good for one, but two members of Paradise are already gone off the board. So TrueRippers are wasting no time. They know Paradise and their economy is weak. That's why they're going to strike while the iron is hot. They're going to be like, okay, we'll just completely rush the bomb site. Within 30 to 35 seconds, we'll look to plant the spike. And then we can just play an easy post-plant scenario. And unfortunately for Paradise, there's not much they can do. They don't want to use the solo ultimate that they have. And from the shadows from Omen, it's not going to be working very effectively in this case as well. Protagonist goes down, and look at both the defenders. They're just here by the shed, looking to pick the angles. They have stolen a gun. Dean gets one headshot off guard on Crosshair. That's another. So definitely some heavy blows dealt to TrueRippers. Just the round goes in their favor as well. But yeah, Paradise, they'll be happy with how this round went.
They are, although disappointed to some extent because of losing 3 members, right? I mean, TrueRippers losing 3 members. This is reinvestment that they now need to do. Economy is still decent, but worse for wear. Right now, like you said, Paradise, they're just trying to warm that iron up, right? They're trying to strike when it's hot. And this is the exact way you do it. Derail their economy, then you bring in the misery, and then you watch the turmoil. This mid control, they've realized that with nobody contesting, it has to be a stack towards either of the sides, and they're trying to take their chances towards A here, and they've swapped the setup around here a little bit, PE. But is that gonna be enough is the question. The first kill is decent, and that's all that you could have asked from Flicker. Nice rebuttal. KHG, textbook Hunter's Fury. Is this, however, gimmicky play that they're trying to make? I assume that it might be a fake or something, but I'm pretty sure that they forgot the spike.
Yep, it was a big mistake. No, in retrieving the spike, they wasted so much time, and the problem was all of the other members were in the bomb side. Look at that. Dean was just able to pick them off one by one by one. Master, Crosshair, and then finally Sai, who had the duty of going back to A main. Yeah, this was a big blunder from the side of TrueRippers. They essentially like forgot the spike, plain and simple. And it couldn't have been a fake, because by the time they realized the mistake and by the time Sai went back to retrieve it, like I said, everyone else was too deep in trouble for them to start escaping. The garden door was closed. They couldn't go back from A main because that angle was already covered from heaven. It was just really like not good, essentially. That's what I'd say. But yeah, one team's blunder is another team's gold. Great round for Paradise. They held their ground. And again, Paradise are realizing they don't necessarily have to play retake. They don't have to, retreat away from the bomb site. If they have good guns, Paradise should have enough confidence in their team to realize, boys, we can take those gunfights. We can counter TrueRippers. Just hold your ground and stay. And wait for the attackers to do something. And even right now, as 40 seconds in the action phase go, Paradise Esports are just waiting for TrueRippers to do something.
Yeah, and TrueRippers are so split. They're hoping to find one piece straight, but it's not been the case so far. One Tap God finally catches the rotation of protagonist all the way through defender spawn. Bone being revealed, and Dean, beautiful TP. Oh, the Lord, look at that. He just swings too wide. Finds 2 members, tearing them right at the face, and it's all on a hold from hell, and he's giving them a hellish display of skill. The man advantage secured, and Bone's not able to push the issue, which means the double push is gonna be in full fruition. The quad from Flicker, and it's all on a one-tap God to go massive above and beyond. Sadly, he's gonna go deep into his grave, and that's Paradise Esports inching closer to even pegging. 4-5, and that call that TrueRippers made to hit towards A, it seemed like a peaceful call, right? Especially because you had one tap God's position towards market. all the way towards mid. Oh, how they failed to account for Flicker yet again. And it's been a position which Flicker has been playing consistently. The fact that they overlooked that and they still managed to get the plant down alongside having the Omen TP all the way towards Wine. Yeah, that's just sweat at its best. And look at Sai. He needs a breather. So does the rest of the team.
Yeah, truly for the side of, well, both the teams, we are seeing the player camps, the majority of them right now, and two very different expressions in the boot camp. Where on the side of Paradise, it is happy faces, something that I haven't seen, because when we saw them yesterday against Revenant, it was all very, very serious faces, and in Paradise, they were definitely heartbroken. But right now, they are confident, and they know that if they can take Ascent, for sure, Fracture is going to go their way, just because of how their recent performances have been, and just because of the fact that it's not a particular map that TrueRippers have in their liking. But regardless of that, I have to mention this Flicker. That's a beautiful, I guess that's his wallpaper that he has, the chamber one. It looks amazing. That's really good. And the colors as well, the black and the gold, such a rich kind of color. But anyways, that's just my love for wallpapers. Coming back to the game, right now it's going to be, double digits, round number 10. Paradise Esports now only a single round away from equalizing the score. When they were down like 3 or 4 rounds and TrueRippers were building upon that lead, everything has been nullified, and it's TrueRippers themselves who are suffering the losses of their economy. The Bladestorm is out, the Sheriffs are there, and Master, he can still make great use of that weapon.
They find that opening here, but Dean is in a very compromised position. He gets flushed out. It's all on Protagonist's ability to hold the side. Reinforcements are in, though, and Flicker, the man in charge, is the man coming back with that cleanup duty. 1v2. Sai, a wealth of experience, but he needs to weave brilliance, and he's on the verge of getting the point. Bam! He does it! Ooh. What a play. Exactly what TrueRippers needed. Look at that.
Yeah.
Calm, cool, pulls that trigger right in the nick of time.
Boy, I mean, looks like that timeout really worked for them. That round was their savior, because at the very least, TrueRippers now confirm a 6-6 half, and this is at the very least. If they go full force at it, they can have an 8-4 lead against Paradise going into their defense, which is going to be substantial. But overall, that's still an if. Paradise Esports, their defense is also looking good. Look at Bloody landing that shot. Didn't have the dash, so I had to use the Cloud Flare, and he still went away. And now, TrueRippers are going for their same double poignant attack. They've got members on B main, they've got people on market. Paradise know about this. Protagonist was trying to cover off his teammate. Unfortunately, he'll go down. But in doing so, Dean and KHG, they get the trades and they halt any and all hopes of TrueRippers moving forward into the B-bomb side. There are just far too many defenders that TrueRippers will not be able to leave a substantial mark.
This play from Paradise Esports to boil it down in the last 45 seconds and then use utility has been what's winning them these rounds. And they still have a lot of utility on this ace side. It's just inactive. Once the rotation comes on through, along with that lockdown, things start looking a little questionable. They'll close that door as well, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna force the Hunter's Fury of Sai before the push plan could be anywhere close to fruition. What's the play here? What do TrueRippers need to do to find success? Because it's looking effy. Imagine your own Sova tagging you.
One tap god just couldn't escape that position. Now Sai, his location is known, goes to the spam fire. He knows where KHG is, lands an excellent headshot onto Dean. And I don't think there's enough time. Now, KHG has to stick it. Was there a half defuse? There was, yes, but KHG just can't do it.
Back-to-back clutches. What a play.
Last round before the switch.
That was... I mean, that was amazing luck that Sai had, because he was on his, final 2 or 3 bullets of that entire spray. Look at that. 17, 14, 8, 6. Okay, it's like final 6 bullets. He lands one of them and that's all he needed. And now, both the teams under immense pressure, and we can understand why this time it's Paradise Esports who have gone for that tactical timeout.
Yeah, it's not hit Paradise Esports though. They look very cool, very composed. You can see a nice smile on KG's face. Yeah, I think these few rounds that Paradise Esports have lost, it's rounds where it's a lot of advantage that go in the other way, right? 1 versus 2s, 2 versus 3s. In that case, Sai essentially was put in a 1 versus 2 yet again. So, usually it doesn't sit well, but that's the difference maker. Especially in a series where it's best of 3s, these kind of rounds happen. You win some, you look flashy, you lose some, it's part of the game. And they need to just keep their head in it. We saw them start the half phenomenally well. Paradise Esports were looking on equal peg into TrueRippers, but the last few rounds just has gotten so much more fortunate when Sai is able to deliver moments of brilliance like this. TrueRippers, they're reaping as much reward as they can in this first half, and they're looking to make this an 8 if humanly possible. Of course, PE on inferior weaponry, they just need to try fending off for a little bit, and they're able to find that opening. It's Master in transition actually, but they don't account for Crosshair, who's put in a crossfire with Sai nonetheless. Another beautiful shot. They're finding success. A 3 versus 3 though, and a nice shot. One tap god comes alive when it's required. He might be a white recon dart, but he also can deal a deadly kiss. Bones takes them down to their grave. And that is TrueRippers changing the pace quite a bit. The commitment, the fast split towards A, catching PE off guard. And sure, one tap god, a lot of these moments he's gotten only like maybe a kill, maybe a 2, but on the dive, this time around he shows that he's still more than present in the post plant as well.
Yeah.
Whew. What changes, bro? What do PE need to do on the attack now?
Hey, it's the side swap. As I always say, for all teams, the one savior they can every single time rely on is the side swap. For better or for worse, yeah, that's something that's a bit difficult to predict. But I definitely go by this rule that the side swap shakes things up more than anything else in a game of Valorant. Be it a ranked match, be it a high competitive match such as the one right now, or the two best teams in the world against each other. Side swap is going to matter a lot. And now it is the members of TrueRippers on defense. They have to hold off against Paradise, who are trying to waste no time into executing. Everyone on site has backed off to this hell position. Paradise are into the A-bomb site, but they are dying. Bones, one tap god, keeping the hope alive and keeping themselves alive. Meanwhile, eradicating any and all hope Paradise had of executing and potentially winning this round. Only a single member of TrueRippers died. Meanwhile, everyone on Paradise gone. And yeah, it was a very simple take that PE were looking for. They just want to push on to A. Unfortunately for them, couldn't win any of those duels, and that is the pistol done and dusted. TrueRippers now going to go for a proper anti-eco, looking to be in double digits very soon.
The amount of time that they were able to buy was just beautiful, right? Everybody came in rotation. It just all went in tandem. TrueRippers trying to take aggression here with the main PE, but not as fortunate. 0 point is going to deter them just a little bit, and that's enough to maybe push them into one tap god.
Here.
Man is as deadly with the Marshall as he is with the Vandal. The Astral sucked. It doesn't get the Dagnus though. One tap got visibly frustrated, and he removes his frustration in a healthy manner. Hopefully.
Oh!
Disgusting! Somebody hand this man a towel, because he's making us all dirty! The quad kill!
No way.
And this could be an ace. Holy hell, one tap god. Putting on quite a show. Just wiped the entire server in the span of a few seconds almost.
Oh, Dean's there. Does Dean go for it? Does one tap god know about it? He's going over him. He misses. But oh, it's going to be Sai.
Sai steals it.
Man, keep your enemies close, but your friends closer. Otherwise, that Marshall would have been gone out of the hands of one tap god. Still, I mean, granted, yeah, as flashy as those plays were, overall, TrueRippers, they knew well within they would have won that round. They had better weaponry. Paradise were looking for that eco. They saved up, but this is where Paradise need to secure the win because now they are at a deficit of 6 rounds. TrueRippers now have double digits. Paradise are investing all of their money into the round. They've got half armor as well, but most importantly, they've got the rifles. They need to secure the headshots. The one taps have to be present because if TrueRippers get on 11 rounds right here, right now, most likely we will be going to Fracture with Paradise being a map down.
Don't say that, buddy. I mean, yeah, at least we get to go to Fracture, so you get to
That's
see
bad.
Paradise at least have the curveball, right? Of course, that's Paradise
Okay,
pick,
yeah,
so.
for that reason, that's good, yeah.
Now, when Paradise Esports were on their defense, a lot of utility clogging was done to buy time. Right now, they need to bait out utility from TrueRippers. The amount of Astral Stars towards A, yeah, there's no way PE are getting in there in one piece if TrueRippers decide to contest. And Bones, the flash was almost perfect, but the aggro was simply too much, and Bloody was caught in a trail off his own side, though, jumping down to Gen to try and aid Bones. That is just delightful. TrueRippers just fold this defense perfectly. They knew exactly how to play that.
The one best thing TrueRippers did was manage to separate the dive agent that was Bloody as the dash who dived into the bomb side apart from the rest of the attack. How did they manage to do that? Thanks to the Astra, they had the gravity well and they had the Nebula as well. They had the smoke. This was really good. This is one of those rounds that you think of in like Valorant theory, you know, as a defender. You must separate, or you must try and separate the dive agent away from the team, because whatever ground the dive agent is covering, in this example it was Bloody, you know, going towards like generators, that all that area was not able to be covered by the rest of his teammates. Why? Like I said, the Nebula prevented them from seeing anything. The gravity well prevented them from pushing, because if they pushed, they would go into the gravity well, into the crosshairs of TrueRippers members, and eventually, well, plain and simple, they would die. No other logic. So yeah, that was really good stuff, and kudos to the TrueRippers members as well. They won most of their gunfights. The crosshair placement was present. And unfortunately for Paradise, there wasn't much they could do. Since you had lost the spearhead of your attack and the remaining 4 members were just still on A main, they were like, okay, might as well try and take a push. We will force the gunfights. But yeah, you know, it wouldn't work. And now they are on a far, far weaker buy. They have taken a timeout. Hopefully it works. They need to land their headshots. But TrueRippers are well within their way to march on for victory, since after this round, most likely they'll get match point.
Mid control and Crosshair's the only one they can challenge. And of course, just run away with a snap of his fingers. There we go. Makes his way back to safety. Not found a whole lot of real estate there. They've not continued their conquest towards mid. They turn eyes towards the short. Should be transparent now. Bones, along with his comrade, one tap got towards the A-long position. So Bones is trying to contest. He's trying to buy as much time for one tap god and Crosshair to play off his aggro. Very clean, very diligent. They knew how to deal with these CQC pistols. They didn't give them much chance here. And that's why Paradise Esports are a little lacking. The opportunities that they try to find for themselves are simply so scarce.
Right there.
Oh boy, Fracture it is. Paradise Esports, they will still have their map. For TrueRippers, you know, I mean, I would say this was, I mean, from the looks of it, it can be a comfortable win. 13-4 by no means whatsoever. You know, TrueRippers, they had a couple of hiccups in the way. There were rounds where Paradise were looking very, very good. But overall, from what had happened to TrueRippers previously, this time they're looking far more comfortable. I mean, the last time we saw TrueRippers, they played against Only Friends on this map of Ascent. They end up losing 9-13. Now they're looking much better. But still, things haven't closed out. You know, we still have one more round that TrueRippers need to win in order to secure the win. Who knows? Maybe Paradise can win 8 rounds consecutively, push it into overtime. Highly unlikely, but it can happen. Will it happen? Let's wait and watch. The attackers, they have taken their time. They made their presence known towards the A-bomb side. TrueRippers are still huddled up towards Garden. Now, all of the attackers, with the exception of the Killjoy, have relocated towards B main, and they are just simply waiting for B execute, which is going to be happening right about now.
Oh, the perfect timing on the utility. The Astra yet again buying time. He's trying to be the MVP here, and Sai, the man in
Spike
charge,
down, B.
gets one. Doesn't have damage, so Master can take down another from the grave. The man disadvantage yet again on the side of Paradise Esports, as they just don't seem to get a
30
break.
seconds left.
Protagonist
Player
shoulder
standing.
spotted. Game done and dusted.
Ace. Defenders win.
That's it. GG's. TrueRippers, good win from their side. Paradise Esports, unfortunately, no counter. And this time, look at Sai, a lot more happier Sai than what was the case after the initial couple of rounds. This time, the entire mentality in the boot camp is going to be a lot more positive as well from the side of TrueRippers. They know it was a good win. And as for Paradise Esports, yeah, I was saying earlier, in one of the initial timeouts that they were looking happy. These are similar faces I was seeing yesterday when they were against Revenant. Paradise, no, it's a tough journey that they are on right now. First against RNT, then against TrueRippers. The problem for them is Paradise are a relatively newer team. I talked about this yesterday with Universe on the desk, is that they have played other tournaments in South Asia as well, like recently. Here, the Esports Club, they had played the previous Challenger series that we had held as well, but they couldn't make it to the top 8. This is the first time they are in the top 8 in the entire region in a specific tournament. This is the time where they are on the broadcast, in this environment. And unfortunately for them, they're just getting matched up against very experienced players in their opposition. RNT, TrueRippers, these are players who have had years and years of experience, not just in Valorant, but in other games as well. And even right now for Paradise Esports, this is a bit of a learning curve that they are seeing, be it Ascent, be it Fracture, or any other map that they have been playing. But there is still a bit of confidence and a bit of optimism I have for their side, specifically on the map of Fracture, with how they'll be playing. Do I think they have solid chance of winning this best of 3? Right now, I'm going to say no, but maybe Fracture can change my opinion on that.
Understandable, yeah. Fracture, of course, is the pick for the Pakistani side, right? So we're
Paradise,
hoping to see a lot more from especially their attack. Because the defense, I love their philosophy. Their philosophy was very fundamental. It was about how you buy time using utility and set yourself up in a far more advantageous position as the time ticks, while at the same time baiting out utility from the side of Sai and Co. So it made a decent bit of sense on paper. It only required a couple of small changes from the side of Sai and his in-game leading skills to just modulate around. Let's quickly head to the highlights as well, and let's try to relive what was this map 1. TrueRippers, the initial, I'd say 7 rounds, is when it looked like Paradise and TrueRippers are going to have a close game. But after that, TrueRippers looked to be more or less in the driver's seat. And yeah, a couple of early rounds as well, so reliant on timing and the X factor going in either side's way. So it's hard to go back to the drawing board CCV and analyze games like this, saying where did we actually lose it.
Yeah, a lot of it goes down to those gunfights, the untimely moments. Definitely the pistol round was the most prime example of just sheer Valorant timing. That's it. You can't blame anything else. But apart from that, yeah, there were many instances. You can look at it not majorly from like a strategical point of view, because the theories were present from both of the teams. It was just the act of execution where one thing or the other went wrong, and then the entire team was trying to fix that mistake, but in doing so, other problems start occurring, and before you know it, the entire house fell down, essentially. So, yeah, for the side of Paradise, there is going to be a lot more of learning. I want to see how they perform on the map of Fracture, because there was a lot of learning that they had to do from yesterday's war that I remember against RNT. Particularly a couple of times with their gunfights, but with their execution timings, like with their coordination in the team overall, be it just their communication, whatever comms that are going on, or be it with how in the execution at times it felt a bit separated. But in this case, from TrueRippers, yeah, even though it felt like that a couple of the times, overall they had thorough coordination between their team, especially towards the very end when their defense was there. TrueRippers held their ground. I mean, look at the highlights we are seeing right now. They kept the bomb site under control, and Paradise had no way to escape from that whatsoever.
Oh yeah, like prime example, the pistol round, dude. Like the fact that they were able to buy so much time for even that rotation to chime in, yeah, absolutely unreal. And yeah, one time got pretty happy with the clip he got. You gotta presume this Jet Div though, oof, sheesh. That's all you gotta say to that. And at the end of the day, TrueRippers, a result like this is kind of what's going to fuel them for this lower bracket run, right? Because they just got the biggest bamboozle out of everybody in the Community Cup. That was the biggest upset that only France pulled off up against TrueRippers. Right. So results like these are going to help them rekindle their motivation quite a bit, their confidence more importantly. And that we need to see transcend over to Fracture. So TrueRippers, 9 matches that they played on that map. This is going to be a true test. I'm interested to see how TrueRippers rebuttal with this kind of a curveball. Because again, they're a team who are still looking to get a full phase, right? They're looking to develop themselves as this version of TrueRippers. And TrueRippers are that kind of an org. They have a couple of rosters for the past few years. Not a whole lot of roster changes, but when they do take their sweet time in getting their juices right and in the right blend.
Exactly. Yeah, TrueRippers definitely go for a lot of time. If only after a lot of time they feel like things still aren't working out, or maybe for other factors, only then will they go for roster changes like right now we are seeing. And this is still the early stages we have of this roster, and that's the case for so many of the teams. Even a team like Revenant, you know, with the roster changes that have been happening in their side, with the Paradox coming in from TrueRippers, this Community Cup for these experienced teams, it's a lot of solidifying their roster and experimenting as well, because yeah, definitely a lot of glory is on the line in this Community Cup, but still relatively, you know, the teams know they can experiment a lot more, they can try out these new things. But for newer teams such as Paradise, this is just going to be their proving grounds, and they are proving themselves relatively well. Ascent, yeah, it was a bit of a below average performance yesterday. Again, when they played against RNT, I definitely felt that was Paradise looking really good. Right here, they just weren't able to get going. They had those kills, like statistically, kills weren't the biggest factor. It was just overall, they were a bit lacking. But yeah, one tap god on the Jet, the only person to have an average combat score of over 300, definitely deserving of that position. I mean, 100%, 22 frags, that is something. And apart from that, everyone in TrueRippers did well. Sai had those clutches of those 1v2s that he pulled off many a times, and everything was good. But now let's look at the match MVP, and like I said, I think everyone has a solid idea who it's going to be, and yes, it will be one tap god.
I mean, sure, man has the kills, but I think I'd want to give it over to Sai. The plays he made, especially at the moments he made it, kind of gave such a strong lead for TrueRippers in that first half. Back-to-back 1 versus 2s to not only derail economy, but also momentum that our friends were trying to build. Yeah, a lot of debate could happen, but one tap god, the consistent out of the pair, at least as the Jet on the defense, you could have seen the fact that one tap god felt so much more comfortable than Bloody ever felt, right? The kind of fights that he's able to force, the aggression that he's trying to send out on the back of reliable utility and teamwork is just exuberant of their confidence on that map. So it's going to be very, very tricky. Once they get into Fracture, you hope that you get to see the glimpse of the same one tap god that we did get to see in Ascent. It shouldn't be a deterrent for him, hopefully.
True. And it's going to be about the you know, all of those plays as well, and obviously the agent composition. Honestly, that's what I'm looking forward to on a map of Fracture. And speaking of Fracture, here we have the veto in front of us. Map number 1, picked by TrueRippers, won by TrueRippers. Now we have the second map of Fracture. Paradise Esports have chosen it as they did yesterday. Yesterday against Revenant. once more I'm going to say they ended up losing 9-13, but this time I feel like they will have a better chance. They surely must have learned from their mistakes and they will choose not to make them again. So there is still a chance we go on the decider map of Haven, and that's where both of the teams should have the most experience, because genuinely, you know, as players, you have the most experience in a competitive team on the map of Haven. It's by far like one of the most played maps in general in the competitive map pool, but I'm really looking forward to it. But before that as well, you know, I have to just give a shout out that this community cup, all the action that we are seeing right now in front of our screens, every single team, not just the teams right here in the playoffs, but the teams who registered, everyone, every single player who is vying for that prize pool of 1,50,000, all of that is possible thanks to our sponsors. You know, we've got LG Ultragear, again, top-notch monitors from their side, 27.5 inches, 144 hertz, high definition. Go down in the description. Definitely get yourself a monitor sorted to hit those crispy shots that you just saw in the highlights and in the match that we witnessed earlier and that we will be witnessing. More so, if you want the brains of your computer to be excellent, if you want the processor to be at the fastest speeds and the most amount of gigahertz, Intel definitely have you covered. The best processors in the line. I personally own a 12th generation Intel processor. I can vouch for it myself. You've got the peripherals from Crucial as well. They've got the SSDs, they've got their RAM, quite literally the fastest in the business, to make sure that all of your work, that all of your games, that your operating system loads at the fastest speed possible. You are just right now seeing the QR code, scan some Red Bull, get it delivered to your doorstep, and obviously, if you want to see more gaming content other than just Valorant, so many more streamers out there. If you want more entertainment, if you are already watching us on Loco, well, there's so much entertainment for you. If you're watching us on YouTube, definitely go to Loco, follow the Esports Club there, and look at the other streamers. But definitely keep watching the Community Cup, because the second map that we have, it's going to be a pretty spicy one as well, don't you think, OG?
Well, you better hope so, because it's Fracture and things are about to get heated if Paradise Esports want any more life in the Community Cup. And we'll see you right about 5 minutes after a short break. Ladies and gentlemen, to the LG Ultragear presents the Esports Club Community Cup, powered by Intel and Crucial. It has been a very, very dicey hopefully dicey map 2, because map 1, yeah, it really didn't look that far, right? It didn't look like TrueRippers even were contested to some point. Only initially did we actually see them break a sweep. That's a story that's bound to change now, because 9 maps overall on Fracture, that's the track record TrueRippers have. And yeah, opportunity, I'm being optimistic here. What about you?
There is a chance. There is a chance. You know, seeing Paradise yesterday against R&T, I definitely have to agree. There is an opportunity that they can try and take the win, but it's going to be hard fought. The biggest question is we haven't seen TrueRippers play the map of Fracture recently a lot. So that's the only problem. That, you know, we don't know how TrueRippers will perform. Neither do the members of Paradise. The only thing that can change is Paradise in their own game, the one that we saw yesterday, and they definitely must have improved. So keeping that in mind, Fracture is going to be interesting, and already we are in the agent selection screen, and this is where I'm most interested on seeing that exactly what kind of compositions are going to be chosen from both the rosters.
Well, we have what I'd consider more or less a straightforward lineup. Yeah, double initiator, you have Brimmy, you have KO. I think this should be more or less an expected lineup coming out. Crosshair could be the only one that changes things, and I'm pretty confident that we're not going to get a Phoenix here. Thank you, Crosshair. And Neon, to some extent viable, but not the most proficient on a map like this. So it's up to one type god. I still feel like having a Raze or even a Jet to some extent helps your lineup quite a bit. Yeah, there we go, the Raze. It's another agent that's perfect for a map like Fracture, allows you to dive, has a lot of offensive utility, can flush people out of positions, and especially in a map like Fracture where there are a couple of Nook and Cranny and Cubby positions, yeah, it's very, very nice to have a Raze on your team. So, mirror compositions, what's your feeling about this? My gut gives the W to TrueRippers already, but due to a lack of hard work on this map, there is the chance that Paradise might just push us to a map 3.
Could be, absolutely could be. Mirror comps means the team who know the map better, you know, well within the positions, the method of executions, and the timing, most importantly, will get the edge over the other. And while I have to say TrueRippers definitely outshine the members of Paradise in the fragging department, especially after what we saw on the map of Ascent, I'm not going to count Paradise out just yet, because in my opinion, they know the map of Fracture better. There is a reason why they chose it yesterday against Revenant, and today they've chosen it against TrueRippers as well. It's because they really like this map and they want to perform better. Both Revenant and TrueRippers, they're indifferent to it. They don't care for it too much. So keeping that in mind, I definitely need to see a couple of the rounds before we can pass out a judgment which team is going to try and take the win, whether or not we are going to map number 3. But without any further ado, let's jump in. The pistol round is going to be right in front of us, and already it is going to be the members of TrueRippers on defense progressing forward a lot. Team gets the opening kill, Crosshair also goes down, and that is your entirety of B defense gone. Reinforcements have to be called in now.
Bones made his way towards the bridge, not able to find much in terms of connections though. Indeed, snuck his way to the other side. Should enable them to get the cross easily, should enable them to get that spike planted. Nobody to contest just as of yet. Oh, it just gets from bad to worse. TrueRippers, the pistol round seems to have forsaken them. Yeah, this aggression TrueRippers went for. I understand why they'd go for it. That's just the worst outcome that possibly could have happened.
Last player standing. Flawless.
Oof.
And bam.
Yeah, that wasn't the best from the side of TrueRippers. That said, Paradise getting a flawless round win definitely puts him at a big advantage. So I think TrueRippers have got to realize that maybe getting overly aggressive isn't going to favor us on Fracture as much as it did on Ascent. It's time to take things slowly, wait for Paradise to do something, then try and counter it. But this round won't be much from Paradise. It's a proper anti-eco. Spectre's full armor. TrueRippers completely saving their guns, they're saving their credits, and I don't think we'll expect much of a different result. It's a 5-stack from TrueRippers onto the A-bomb side. Can they hold off from this defense? Let's see. One tap god does get 2 kills. Those are 2 Spectres retrieved. It's still going to be an A-take from Paradise, or are they looking to go onto the B-bomb side from spawn? Yes, they are. Brilliant plan.
Alright, bring around the Rosie, my friend. They've made their way into this B side. There's nobody on this B side. It's wide for the taken. Magnus is holding these frags by the neck. He's holding the off angle. He has 2 flashes himself if he wants to reinitiate. But he's just trying to play it slow and steady. Although the pace, he just gets overrun. Couple of guns now, like you mentioned, on the hands of TrueRippers. With this backstab coming in from one tap god, things could start looking a whole lot dicey because of the double presses towards Arcade. This should be a shooting gallery, and Flicker, he reads this so well. He knows exactly what the play is behind him. If only positioning was slightly better, friend, might have found himself in the vicinity of the clutch. Because considering the HP, nobody else apart from one tap god was healthy. So there was a chance there.
Definitely was a chance, but the pressure was on him all by himself. You know, his location was then known to the members of TrueRippers, but for TrueRippers, excellent round because they won the thrifty. And this is what I love. When the economy of both the teams is now in such a vulnerable state, because TrueRippers lost the pistol, they won their thrifty, and this is essentially their bonus round. And now for Paradise, this is their own eco. So the next round we can expect like full on rifle, like full buys from both the rosters. But this round is Paradise in their undoing, because essentially now they're the ones on sheriffs. And against Spectres, will they be able to launch a better execute? Master isolates both the gunfights and one Vandal. That's going to be, you know, 2 headshots. And already Paradise have had to take a step back. They're like, whoa, that's a Vandal. We don't mess with that. We can't mess with that just yet. So we have to reposition. And that's exactly what they do. And they're looking to find an opportunity somewhere else to strike.
Oh, they found it. Granted, Bloody though could have gone for a little more. Aggro down off each other, and only 1 loss. Only 1 casualty. TrueRippers should be happy with what they've gained. Which is a lead, economy, weaponry. Yeah, what else do you need at this point? W, but that's a far, far distance away. Right now the PE are in a position to invest, right? They have the rifles. Crosshair, those instantly gone up to that operator. I like this investment. TrueRippers, they're not entirely playing bonus per se. They have 2 people on the Spectre, 2 people on the Vandal, 1 on the operator. It gives them the opportunity to get these early frags, maybe get early real estate, and get weaponry or position to make your inferior weaponry even the more powerful. So far, it is just a passive pick-and-play approach that Paradise Esports need and are gonna do. They're gonna look for fights here and there. They're finding places where TrueRippers might play overly aggressive. The only question is, how do they choose to punish it? They need to have good knowledge of utility punish in this map especially. And let's hope that's the route that they do end up taking.
Yeah, they definitely need to use that utility, whether it is for their own advantage, punish their opponents, no matter what it is. Now, KHG, he's ready for the fault line. The other members of Paradise, they're there towards the dishes, towards A main. One tap god sees one of them suppressed, so he needs to use the Spectre. He still manages to get 1 kill before he goes down. And in the fury of all of it, the Orbitals does strike. And so does Flicker's Phantom, because TrueRippers are down to a single player. That's Bones also off the board. Crosshair has got that operator, but I don't think he'll be pushing any further. So great execute from Paradise, you know, dissecting it. They just had the breach towards A main, and then they had the remaining players push in from you know, towards the dishes, and then the orbital strike just got signed. I think that was the winning factor, because one of the anchors in the bomb site was gone. It left the remaining members of TrueRippers by themselves, all alone. No trades could occur, nothing could take place, and Paradise just had a very, very simple time pushing into the bomb site and planting the spike, and thus winning the round.
Yeah. The only silver lining for TrueRippers here is they managed to save that operator, right? It's gonna be big. And Crosshair is only 2 away from the 31st as well. They should be able to reinvest into this TrueRippers, at least to a small extent, where they'll have utility. They might have maybe a Spectre, maybe a couple of Sheriffs. Mind you, the first round that they did win on Fracture was on the back of a Thrifty. So, can't really count TrueRippers out just yet. Wait, is somebody watching YouTube videos in the background while the game is happening? I can see that on one-tab God screen.
Nice.
It's a movie.
I don't know which one it is. But you know what? Hey man, to each their own. Some people use timeouts for talk about strategy. Some use timeouts to go to the restroom. Some use timeouts to go get like food deliveries. This time it's going to be a timeout to watch a show, movie, whatever. Hey, it's a very diverse use of a tactical timeout, and that's what they are. It's tactics. Who knows? But again.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, yes, very, very tactical. But apart from that, all right, coming back to it, Paradise Esports definitely, after the previous round win, they need to take the timeout. I mean, they haven't taken the timeout, but they've got to realize that exactly how can they keep on moving forward with their momentum that they have, and exactly how can they keep on trying to take the win, because it's still all equalized. And now we are in this full buy versus full buy situation, and the ults are about to lure into the game, and we are going to see a lot more of those ult usage. We already saw that orbital strike, but after that, that was because Dean had gotten like a 4K in the first pistol round. That's why he got it so early. But now everyone will be getting it. So you gotta be careful. And now KHG, he gets the trade onto his teammate, but Sai, he knows where this breach is, and he still gets the headshot, even though he was completely flashed.
Oh, they were looking out for this and they still get caught off guard? That's so unfortunate. Sai needs help. That pink shell's beautiful to isolate this fight, and Sai cannot afford to overcome it. Bones should be ready with a flash thereafter for committing to this retake effort. Not gotten the spike down. It's all the way up in towers, and Dean now left with an all to do all alone in the site. His teammate, I'm not sure if he's disconnected or AFK or something, but yeah, he's just looking at a wall, so good luck, have fun with that. I think he just tries to buy time here. Save that weapon. Save a little bit of seconds. Surrounded though. And 30 seconds.
30 seconds
In a position like this, saving your gun isn't really the worst call, but you don't get the money, so economy will start being a small part of bother. Rather than that, you just buy a little time, you go there, take a duel, and try to do some damage. And Protagonist is finally back. See, perfect teamwork, at least in some of the other ways they're looking out for each other.
But yeah, Protagonist definitely has better chances of saving this Vandal right now. Just going to check every single corner, just going to wait it out. Has to make sure he doesn't die right now. Because again, if anyone is unaware, when as an attacker, you survive the entire duration of the round, but you still lose it due to time, you do not get that bonus credits that you would if you die. So right there, Protagonist, he managed to save his Vandal, but he does not get those extra credits. So had he died after the round count was over, it would mean he would lose the Vandal and also, not get the credits, which is like disastrous. Whenever it happens, you feel a lot of heartbreak for the person trying to save their guns, because they get practically nothing in that deal. Hey, even though in this case, Protagonist, he still managed to get that Vandal. That's good. Save up, and Paradise can opt for another, well, I wouldn't call this a full buy just yet, but Bloody, very, very soon, he's just a single orb away from getting, his Torre Force unlocked. So definitely Paradise is still looking for a heavy hitting round. They may not have full armor on all of their players, but they can still deal a huge amount of damage against the likes of TrueRippers. And TrueRippers still have to be extremely careful of this and watch out every single corner and wait out whatever Paradise have in store in their attack.
They're baiting him. They're playing with him. Crosshair's just waiting. Just trying to be patient with this. And it's a split approach towards A that PE are trying to attempt here. 3 towards Sat, 2 towards main. They have the luxury to go towards Sand as well. Considering you have a breach, the flash setup is pretty decent. And Crosshair finds the opener. They do recognize that the alarm bot's being tainted with the commitment. Oh, the showstopper! There goes the party! Bye-bye! The A site's down and dusted. The man advantage though nullified. And TrueRippers find themselves in the back foot due to Bones over commitment. Sai, is he gonna expect this? Protagonist is just trying to play it patient, and he does. One Tap God's party is a whiff and a half. The triple peak is soon about to be on him. This clutch is undoable. It's unimaginable. If he pulls this back, he's in a league of his own. The Satchel Fortnite movement, jumping like a bunny. But he's not able to make the landing stick. 3-3, Paradise Esports. Stabilize and find the equalizer. Although, that showstopper from One Tap God could have made it and, you know, not made it at the same time. Yeah, it did not make it. That's the sad part.
Yeah, the side of Paradise, you know, no matter how they play their post plans, you know, however they deal with the showstopper One Tap God, the thing of excellence is their executions. It's really something else because they smoke off every single entry point for TrueRippers. They use all of their breach utility. The Brimstone goes to the Molly as well, and then obviously in this case you had the showstopper from Raze to assist even further, which then got the kill onto Cross as the chamber. They isolated those gunfights and they eliminated every single defender more or less for very minimal cost whatsoever at their own end. And for that very reason, TrueRippers just had such a difficult time dealing with the performance of Paradise and dealing with that kind of execution. So for Paradise, we have seen this A take twice on their end, and in both of the times, it has been exceptional. TrueRippers, they definitely need to find an answer for the next time Paradise go for an execute there. But this time, their choice is the B-bomb side.
Utility, that's the play, although the gunfights aren't really that easy for them to win out. TrueRippers, their brute force is more than enough to put Paradise Esports to a grinding halt. Who needs utility, my friend? That was such a heartbreaking round. Because it seemed like they had the entire set piece knitted perfectly. The smokes, the cover was perfect, the initiation was perfect, the overload at the perfect time. Still not a W. And it's broken their economy. Low weaponry. Allows TrueRippers to also gain this lead now.
Yeah, just like, you know, the previous map that we had on Ascent, TrueRippers can go for like 6 rounds or potentially even more. Paradise though, they're going to go full force at it this time. They don't have the smokes in place. Master was able to hold off one attack, but the reinforcements are in. Crosshair, he's waiting and watching, and it's going to be the rolling thunder on the side of TrueRippers itself, concussing almost everyone in the Paradise boot camp. The aftershock goes through. The Molly pushes Bloody into this corner, and he cannot escape. He's completely dazed. He's still holding the angle. He gets one, he gets two, and that's it. Clean up duty for Paradise Esports. TrueRippers threw everything at them, but Paradise still held on.
Flicker was in such a good position that he needed to make sure he stays alive. He does the start of that dirty business. And justifiably so, a timeout. This is what they needed. Sai, he's trying to block us. Why, bro? Come on. I like that background, like you said, dude. It looks so fly, right? Imagine some of your friends coming home who don't really play Valorant. They'd be like, bro, what kind of anime stuff have you put up there? And we're like, nah, bro. That'd be me while I'm sending people home in the Mumbai server. I mean, all things said and done, this is a Mumbai server match. It's just a professional match on a Mumbai server, that's all. That's the difference.
Right.
And TrueRippers, in the context of this matchup, right? Fracture, it's a map that they really did not play much, like you mentioned before. And sometimes when you are put in a situation like this, it could be a small blessing in disguise purely due to the fact that it's harder for you to read a team that doesn't play that map much, which means that they have a little more wiggle room to pull off some wacky stuff. So what do TrueRippers have to offer to us, is my question. We have to see some of that wacky business.
Yeah, it's relatively quiet from the side of TrueRippers because they still know that. I mean, I guess it's because they know the fact that it's the lower brackets. you can't take too much risk right now because TrueRippers have the advantage in the BO3. They won Ascent. Now on Fracture, this is not their map. This is not their territory to say. And going into Haven, if TrueRippers do go to Haven, there's a chance they may lose there as well, and they may lose out on everything in the Community Cup. So they don't want to do that. I guess this is why they're just playing as safe as possible and trying to keep Paradise at bay. But no, that's not the way of TrueRippers. Look at them peeking wide from A halls. One tap god secures the opening kill. Again, it's the chamber gone towards the B bomb side. We are seeing the execute from the team in red. They will take complete side control. Master can do nothing but use the orbital strike, and he goes for it. Tags so many of the members. The spam fire is present, but the spike still goes down.
Yeah, this wall of utility now divides them. It's going to get harder as the time ticks, and the off angles, they start to clear them one by one, but they need to make sure that they're doing it in unison. The paint chill's going to be brilliant. They now force the rest of Paradise to go the other way. The Molotov to add problems on top of problems. It's though a 1 versus 1 as Flicker is now in the advantage. Just needs to play time, play the patience game. Flicker to steal, Sai. The time takes lower and lower, but he's half stuck in. Is there enough time? No, there isn't. Perfectly played by Flicker.
A 2 versus 4, I think it was. No, sorry, 2 versus 3, and Paradise is still held on. Look at the utility being thrown to their side. One tap got a little too over eager with this stair speed, but there was a trade. Eventually, though, it went into this 1 versus 1, and yeah, unfortunate for TrueRippers. They seem to have that round in place, but it did not go their way. And the problem is, had Paradise lost the round, they would have been the team in economic trouble. For Paradise, this is best case scenario because they can be the squad who can get 6, perhaps even more rounds in the first half all by itself, and then go into the second half with an advantage over their opposition. And after all, that's what both the rosters are looking for. They want that advantage, they want the edge. It's just a matter of can they get it or not. Once more from TrueRippers, they wait out the time. They're looking for that A-hall speak. The flash, Bloody is dazed, and he destroys the boombot, falls back over on the other side of the map towards Arcade. We see it's going to be another member of Paradise who is the opening casualty, but we know that Paradise can show well their way, bounce back from this.
TrueRippers, they're set up here for a crunch play. One tap god is essentially trying to bait them in just a little bit. Flash setup. They read the situation a little off, but they're able to get one tap god in that off angle, right? Sai, his bait is an off good reward. Just 1 kill. Yeah. Not much that they were looking for this round, but they've gotten a decent bit, right? 2 kills. If they manage to get more, it would be a decent job with the Sheriffs, all things said and done. Paradise Esports, though, they're trying to play it disciplined. They're trying to play it off each other. They're trying not to give any bit of this away.
Holding.
Dean's off angle is
Just...
One enemy remaining.
He gets 1. Molly's off. Oh, there's a protagonist present already. Yeah, that was a very cheeky angle. Just the slightest position he had, and it was just on the spike. He had his eyesight. So yeah, from the side of Paradise Esports, they are doing really well, and everybody is just focused right here. As for TrueRippers, serious faces. Yeah, both the teams, you would imagine serious faces on their front. And the question now is, we are nearing the end of the first half. This is the penultimate round. Ultimates come and go, that's fine. Credit economy also doesn't matter. What matters is, can TrueRippers bounce back, or is this going to be Paradise just, completely well within their rights of getting an excellent first half, much like what TrueRippers did on the map of Ascent, this time just opposite teams. Can see that 1 tap god. My god, that elimination. He's out of it entirely. Master has been concussed, and for now, reinforcements are there. Flicker is present with that showstopper. Bones goes off. That's Master now eliminated, and within like 30 seconds of the action phase, TrueRippers already are down to only 2 members. Paradise still have all 5.
This was a full buy, by the way, for TrueRippers. And it just truly got ripped apart. There's no other way to put it. I hope for their sake that they save. Can't afford to give these Vandals away. Only means for them to fight back. From such a dominant scoreline.
Last player standing.
Snaps back out in the open. That's doomsday for him. A very good chance now for Paradise Esports to get that substantial lead like you mentioned in CCB. And if you're TrueRippers, what would be a good half for you? I think a 7-5, all things said and done, is still pretty
Last round in
decent.
the
But they
half.
need to have a
Yeah.
solid game plan on the attack.
Agreed. Yeah, 8-4 pushes it a little into like worse off territory. A 7-5 is still very, very close because you win the pistol, win the anti-eco, boom, you're back into it. It's 7-7 and it's all neutral. But in 8-4 means there are a lot more rounds to be won in order to just equalize that. And that is a problem that TrueRippers may be facing very, very recently. And they may face it just now. So they got to be careful.
Oh, the
They have to
showstopper
make the best
denied!
out of it. Yep, the showstopper has been denied. One Tap God can do nothing but use the judge, try and get the kill. It is going to be protagonist who will be down in the ditches. Master wants to hold off the B bomb side. The spam fire is going to be there. Crosshair is gone, and again, it's the Paradise Esports who have taken complete B control.
Bones has bit the dust as well. This is going horrible right now for TrueRippers. Last few rounds has been the amalgamation of the worst possible outcome. Oh, the white swing of TrueRippers almost looked like this was clearing away yet again. Sai needs to fall back. The aggro drawn out by the nade. The smoke though is gonna push both of the key players in uncomfortable positions. This position given away, and Sai knows that he has to look both ways before he sleeps. Yeah. That was the last time he woken up though.
Switching sides.
8-4, dude. Paradise Esports are looking swell, they're looking strong, they're looking in their juices, and this is all that we asked for after map 1, didn't we?
Yep.
All the TrueRippers looking bone dry. I'm thinking on the change, what are we gonna see? What should we expect? TrueRippers, they're towards the A side. They're pinging a lot. I think that this should be a quick split from Sand, Main, and maybe Satellite. I'm not sure about Main, but Sand, I'm pretty confident that's a place that they would want to contest.
They can, and it's just this contest that they have to go for. Otherwise, much like what TrueRippers were doing, you know, in their own like defense, Paradise can just swing by and get so much more aggressive map control. It will take a lot of time for TrueRippers to gain it back. And look at that, yeah, TrueRippers already on the aggro, but it's not gonna work out. 2 kills, 2 casualties for the team in red. They have a bit of retaliation in the form of One Tap God and Crosshair, but One Tap God needs to excel in this corner. Oh, that's one more player, but bloody. And the Classic gets a total of 3 kills, and it's just down to Crosshair. He's got 5 bullets in the Headhunter, 2 enemies, 100 HP. He just doesn't know where they are.
He has a spike inside. Bloody is so low. Supposed to gun barrel. That's exactly what's up. There we go. 1v1. Position not aware, and Dean's found it. Perfect timing on the drive-by. The fact that he's able to get so much done from that same corner. How? How does Bloody even find Sai?
Yeah.
Look at his HP. He's left with only a slither. And he managed to find another. Unthinkable.
Boy, now in the side of you know, TrueRippers, you would think that exactly how did they bounce back? They've lost the pistol. They already were not in the best of positions. Do they go for that, like, you know, force buy again in the anti-eco, exactly what they did in the first half, and try to bounce back from this? They could go for it, but it's a big risk. And this is the question TrueRippers will be asking themselves: are we willing to take such a risk? Because if it backfires, if they lose this round as well, the next round also is going to be an eco. It essentially means giving 2 free rounds to the members of Paradise. and giving them that extra bit of edge, giving them the better guns. And I don't think TrueRippers are ready for that just yet, because it's essentially a surefire way of Paradise trying to take the map win if things go wrong. Yeah, they're not gonna go for it. They're not gonna go for the force buy. They are just going to stick to pistols, and they're just going to hold their ground, let this round get over, and then they try and bounce back after the 6-round deficit.
So they're trying to play the long game here, and TrueRippers, they certainly have the stomach for it. Plant would mean a whole lot for them to be able to get a couple of extra pieces of utility out on the board. It's not to be denied.
Spike planted.
Find a couple of kills here. This would be the best case scenario, wouldn't it? The entry though, on from PE, and it's quite strong. They've managed to sweep the board so far with only one cash PG. Cross. That was a bait. Although Sai, half stuck already. Very hard for him to find the clutch, although he's trying to push the metal. That almost could have stuck. If only he had a little more support there at the end. Nonetheless, quite the damage inflicted on the economy and the guns for Paradise Esports. They lost a lot of weaponry. They gave away the plant for TrueRippers, which means not only do they get money, but also on the back of these kills and the spike plant, they also get ultimate points. So, yep, TrueRippers making the best out of a hard situation. Now they need to start working off this back foot that they've accrued in map 2 and need to bring the fight with a different rigor.
They need to hold the momentum of Paradise. I mean, look at the scoreboard, for the past 7 rounds, Paradise have been winning consecutively, and TrueRippers haven't managed to get anything on board. They need to stop what Paradise are doing, but it's just so difficult. Look at that again. Opening kill in favor of Paradise. TrueRippers, they're trying to push the members away, and oh my god, towards towers. What was that utility dump? Exactly. KHG is still there alongside one of his teammates. He swings right from the molly, and the spike has now been dropped. So TrueRippers need to go to retrieve it, but KHG is defending this with the life in him. Tags Crosshair. Oh my god, KHG is not gonna give this up. Absolutely not. Now he drops down. Sai looks away, but he's still back, watching and waiting for someone in towers to peek.
Ooh, I've seen so much of this timing game. I don't think I have the appetite for more. The HP on either side though is kind of low. It's Crosshair and TrueRippers, and Paradise Esports' breach ain't that healthy.
30 seconds left.
Essentially at this point, Crosshair is gonna be the man at. He's gonna be traded. Sai is trying to work real hard to get that trade. 20 seconds left. They get that spike. And Sai needs to be the one on guard duty. 15 seconds. He confirms nobody's presence towards Star, and he finds that crucial frag. 1v2. He needs to be a bloody magician if he has to pull those rabbit out of the hat and deny TrueRippers any semblance of hope. Easy pre-fired. This could be the clutch. 1 versus 1. Swaps onto the Phantom, and that's bloody hands all over the prize. 11-4, Paradise Esports looking to edge out a map 3.
Did you see their faces?
Oh, they absolutely are. This is it for the side of TrueRippers. They are not going to be happy with the performance. This is practically Paradise Esports marching their way forward. They just need a single more round to get match point, 2 more for sheer victory. And look at the replay, bloody. Both of the kills that he got, yeah, just swing by on one while the other wasn't looking, and then it's essentially a glorified 1 versus 1. He secured that. TrueRippers are in a lot of trouble right now. This round as well, full buy from them. I mean, the bonus is helping them get those rifles round after round. The Tour de Force is there. KO also goes for the ultimate, and they do manage to get the opening kill. Now, can they get a successful execute? Let's wait for Flicker. He drops the diffuser alongside the body. KHG gets another, meaning now the spike is in no man's land. And Paradise Esports, they still have the man advantage. TrueRippers are down to 2 members, and they have to hold off this post-plant retake.
It's not happening. HB. Map point on Paradise Esports hands. This is such a huge swing. Map 1. Paradise Esports looked bone dry. They had no game plan. It looked like the mirror opposite. Right now, they're giving TrueRippers a taste of their own medicine. Boy, oh boy, is it bitter.
Yep.
Now, aggression hasn't panned out as much. The play that PE made mid-game in their attack was to slow it down and see where the defense poses a fight for them to take on their grounds. Not a lot of rounds though for TrueRippers to play with. They lose one, it's map 3. So that is risk reward for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, for the side of TrueRippers and well now for Paradise, map 3 is definitely going to be there. And that said, it's going to turn into a best of 1 from this point forward. So you have to take a look at it. You have to see how Haven goes. With all that being said and done, we're still waiting and watching. You know, what very well can be the final round of this map. I mean, yeah, you know, TrueRippers won map number 1, 13-4. Paradise also looking to make a carbon copy of that. But on the second map,
no,
one tap coordinates is the showstopper, loses his life, and Paradise Esports have 4 members in defender spawn. TrueRippers again, they will take B bomb side control, but KHG, he has got the rolling thunder. KO also has the ult, and both of them are now going to be used. And Crosshair is completely flash. Paradise are back into the bomb site.
Look at Sai. He needs to make the difference here. There's nobody to deny the plan. Finally, the spam. But the showstopper, both need to be vigilant. Needs to choose his movement very carefully. And they find the defuse.
Oh my god.
Let's go. Paradise Esports. They freaking do this in reverse. This is a... I'm not sure if I'm playing Uno, but darn does it feel like I've been skipped, draw one, everything put on my face, and this is just a huge change. At least I'm happy, you know. Look at Sai. He's laughing, he's happy. It's not the same old Sai that we got to see a couple of months ago, so I mean, if a break has anything to do with you, PMA, bro. Positive mental attitude. It helps you get through the rough times.
Yeah. But right now, for both the teams, there is rough times as well, and there's also optimism looking forward to map number 3. Both of them have suffered a loss. They've also won in a considerably amazing fashion. I mean, you know, for the side of TrueRippers, they lost to Only Friends a couple of days ago on the map of Ascent. Now, they won it against Paradise. Paradise yesterday lost to Revenant on the map of Fracture 9-13. Now, they won it 13-4. So both the teams know well within. They've improved in a couple of areas of Valorant. Right now, they just have to secure the deal, because this is still, after all, the lower bracket. One of these two teams, be it TrueRippers or be it Paradise Esports, will be going home after the third map. Who's it going to be? That's the only question. But there is still a lot on the line, you know. Nothing takes away from that. And both the maps that have happened so far, essentially they're inconsiderate. It doesn't matter what the result was. What it means is Haven is going to be the final map. It's going to be the decider map, and this BO3 is now just a glorified best of 1. That is it. Whatever happens on Haven is what the results will say. Whoever wins on Haven will be the team moving forward. Plain as daylight.
Yeah, dude. Before we go to Haven, though, I think we do need to relive Fracture, right? Because it just felt like a breeze. Out of nowhere, TrueRippers just got utterly rolled and dumpstered on, and it's not a good phase. Let's quickly head to the highlights, because again, the first few rounds is where we saw a chance for TrueRippers. There were a couple of moments where we noticed PE slip up as well. But Paradise Esports, dude, especially on their defense, boy, oh boy, it's like cutthroat.
Yeah, Paradise, they executes their defenses as well. Those retakes, everything was on point. They were a whole new team. On the map of Fracture, their utility usage was near perfect, with how they were instigating those gunfights and how they were isolating the members of TrueRippers. And just completely, well, then eviscerating them, essentially. Because the gunfights are also really going their way. This was a lot better showing than what we saw on Ascent. So for both of these teams, you can understand that some maps of theirs are going to be a whole lot better than the others. And we know that Fracture is now a particular liking of Paradise. For TrueRippers, Ascent has always been a map they have preferred, and we saw that earlier. But overall, man, talk about the performances. Everyone stepped up to the mark in the side of Paradise. Even the members who are having a relatively like quieter day early on had an excellent performance. And definitely later, we'll have a look at the scoreboard, we'll have a look at the MVP. We can see that better in numbers, but just from the highlights, we can see quite literally everyone stepped up to the plateau, and there was no player anywhere who wasn't having the best of days when it comes to gunfights and all. They were all at it full force against TrueRippers, no matter what the team in blue were trying to achieve.
Well, if Fracture is anything to take, we understand that TrueRippers need a map that they're comfortable on for them to feel themselves, right? Especially in the context of players like, let's say, One Tap God. His raise was almost unnoticeable. There were only a couple of rounds where he made that kind of significant impact. Apart from that, you have Sai, who was sort of feeling it. Even on this map, it didn't feel like he had that big of a drop-off, although we didn't get to see any outstanding clutch from him, at least if my memory serves me right. And if we also think about versatility, right, I think that now Paradise Esports shouldn't feel any bit uncomfortable whatsoever. Like you said, with this boiling down to the last map and both these rosters having something to prove with this tournament result, both sides are going to be equally disadvantaged and easily. I mean, it kind of paves the way to equal grounds and equal pegging, right? So,
yeah.
Haven, what are you digging? Are you thinking that this might have derailed TrueRippers, or, and is this going the way of PE? Or do you think that TrueRippers just shouldn't have won this and it would have been an unrealistic expectation for us to keep?
I think both the teams have good chance of on Haven, but the thing is, we haven't seen either one of them very recently here in the playoffs play that map, so I can't really comment on that. The only thing I have to go for are like the agent compositions. We may see double initiator again, we'll see Breach for certain. I mean, right now look at that, Bones was playing Breach, KHD particularly a fan of that agent, so we can expect Breach to be picked up, I guess, by both the rosters. So it's going to be like similar compositions, just like what we saw on the map of Fracture. As for performances, I don't really know, but what we do know are the performances on the map of Fracture. On the second map right here in front of our screens, Flicker, 15 kills, 305 average combat score. This time he was the only person who had more than 300 average combat score, and he definitely deserves that MVP position in his team because of the fact that as the Rays, he had such an explosive time, pun intended. The showstopper, almost every single time it landed one or, multiple kills, and the pain shells were of excellent use, especially towards that pillars area towards tower. Whenever you need to flush out any member of TrueRippers, be it on attack or on defense, easily do that. Boombot got information, and obviously you have 15 kills for him, 17 kills for Bloody. Yeah, everyone in Paradise Esports, on the contrary to Ascent, everyone stepped up.
Everybody stepped up. I just had to look this up. So, for the side of Paradise Esports, they have a total of 4 games of Haven. Although, like you said, it's a team, it's a map where a lot of teams need to innately feel comfortable. Yeah, that innateness might be a little lost, my friend. Nice result for now, but this is where versatility kicks in. TrueRippers showed that they didn't have much, especially with the results of this map speaking for itself, right? No disrespect to them, you put a lot of effort in a couple of maps, and those are the maps that you're looking to take W's on. But if you take it to a best of 3 series like this, there are going to be maps that you're uncomfortable playing. And for the case of Paradise Esports, not only was it Ascent to some extent, because they did seem a little lost on it, but it also might end up being Haven. And let's quickly head on over to the match MVP. It has to be the Rays. It has to be Flicker.
Yeah.
Flicker, he did decently as the Killjoy in Ascent as well, but the only problem is, again, the main change that TrueRippers bought was in terms of pacing. And that's something that generally is meant to off-throw the Sentinel. So can't fault him, although you can praise him because he's the one who won almost all his duels on Fracture and made it look quite simplistic.
Truly. Yeah, this time Flicker was a lot more confident in the duels, and the confidence was showing in the gunfights as well, with him winning a lot more of them. 15 kills, average damage rating 215 as well. He also does possess a high amount of deaths. Yes, 15 kills and 11 deaths, but that is the risk you run as a Raze. That is the risk you run as an entry fragger on attack. So, you know, having a look at the map veto as well, we can have a look at the fact that you know, so far both of the teams, they have gone really back and forth, with the fact that early we saw a 13-4 win on Ascent with the side of TrueRippers, now a 13-4 win on Fracture with the side of Paradise, leads into Haven. This is where I am really, you know, I am having a tough time predicting exactly what's going to happen. Quite unpredictable for me personally. All I can say is about the agent compositions, but the performances have been so wildly different from both of the teams that heading into Haven, there are no like common grounds you can find. On one hand, on Ascent, you have TrueRippers performing out of their minds. On Fracture, it's Paradise who are doing that job. So on Haven, which team will find their footing, or is it going to be a lot closer than anticipated? Will we finally break the 13-4 barrier and potentially look towards like a 13-8, 13-9, a lot more closer of a match?
I think to some extent we've jinxed it, have we? We've kind of mentioned the fact that TrueRippers have more of a portfolio, more of a history on Haven, and that certainly has to aid them to some respect to gain the edge on this map 3 in this best of 3. And that's what it's going to take for them to take it across the line and make sure that their upper bracket dream is alive. So until then, that is something that you need to wait for, ladies and gentlemen, and you'll need to wait for a good 5 minutes, because there's a short break, not only for us, me and CCV, who have been pushing our hearts out for you guys, but also the players who need a strong mental reset for this one crucial map to maintain their tournament lives in the LG Ultragear presents the Esports Club Community Cup, powered by Intel and Crucial. Scan the QR code down below to grab your own can of Red Bull, and do follow us both on YouTube and on Local, who is our broadcast partner for the event. We'll be back with map 3 in about no time, so don't go anywhere.
Tricky situations, I will be a lifeline. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before. No, keep coming back for you time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind. No, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove. Baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the moves. Yeah. Baby, I got you. And you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove. Yeah. That baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the moves. Yeah. Baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. In between us, still I feel your heartbeat. There's something something about you, baby, that makes me feel complete. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, no. Coming back for your time at the time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. And the world is going wild when they call for you. And the river's running dry when
Welcome back everyone to LG Ultragear presents the Esports Club Valorant Community Cup powered by Intel and Crucial alongside our broadcast partner Loco. I'm CCV John alongside OG Low-Res Chicken, and we are bringing to you the lower bracket match starting off. We have TrueRippers up against Paradise Esports. If you're just joining in this best of 3, we have gone through 2 maps already. The decider map will be in front of us. It's going to be the map of Haven. Both the teams have won their own map picks. And now that's it. Only a single map remains between the team that moves forward and the team that gets eliminated.
Dude, the way this best of 3 has been going, it's been blowing my mind. Because we walk into this best of 3 matchup, we're anticipating it to be a 2-0, right? We're anticipating TrueRippers to have this. But a brilliant curveball initially in that veto put in by Paradise. And now they have a chance. They have a chance for going for all the eggs in the basket. That's going to be a hard basket for them to snatch, though. Haven, it seems well within the comfort of a team like TrueRippers, but TrueRippers have been going through a small internal restructure of themselves. And this is when you find the beast vulnerable. Even on a map that it's supposedly comfortable with, there will be some rudimentary chinks in their armor, which we hope that we see Paradise Esports exploit to some extent, but only time can be the teller of that story, right? For now, walking into this matchup, I think I heavily favored TrueRippers, again, for the reasons I have been mentioning throughout the past 2 hours. I saw this draft coming from a mile away. I knew that One Tap God's gonna be going in for that Neon. Bones should be playing that Astra, as he so oftenly does on this map. And on the other side, we have the Sky Breach combination. We've slowly started seeing so much more of this Sky Breach rather than something like a Sky Sova or even a Sova Breach for that fact. It seems like these 2 initiators always like to be partnered up.
On Haven, more often than not, Haven has always been that map where you do opt for that double initiator regardless. Very early on it used to be Suva Sky. More recently, a couple of months ago, Breach started picking up a lot of traction, and he did in general started picking up a lot of traction, I guess, after Fracture was introduced and players started to see Breach and how effective he could be. Now one difference that we have, it's going to be in the controller market, it's going to be Omen up against Astra. So that's quite interesting. The fact that teams are willing to still go for the Astra. I get it, Haven is a huge map, but even after all the nerfs that Astra had received, the duration of the stars getting removed and whatnot, still quite prevalent. And it goes to show that, the controller market is a heavily variable and it differs map to map. On some maps, Omen is untouched. On something like Fracture, I mean, there's not going to be anyone else other than Brimstone. Icebox is ruled by Viper, even Breeze to an extent. Right here on Haven, Astra can be there. It's like the controllers themselves have quite literally marked their territory with their utility. They're like, no one's touching this map, no one's touching this map. But it still leads to a lot of these oversteppings, as we have right here in front of us. Omen up against Astra. This to me is going to be very important because from what we saw, the controllers are definitely one of the most influential agents in this entire best of 3 because of how the players have been playing them on Ascent and on the map Fracture. Now let's see how it takes place on Haven, starting off with the pistol.
A slow approach where they're trying to split C here, and that's quickly starting to pace up. They're pushing through garage. They're trying to find space between the C side, and there are 2 defenders here. The utility dump is real, and it's problematic for TrueRippers. They've dodged it though, and they've found time, they've found space, they've found frags. Dean is the only one left to defend the side with all this might. Finally has a little bit of support in the form of KAG, and they're good to trade frags off each other. Still though, a 1 versus 2 now. Paradise Esports off that small of a commitment now on the man disadvantage, and it's bloody. Is he willing to go above and beyond like he so often does for his team? Tailwind expelled, not used. This limits his opportunity now in this clutch. Although nobody looking at Crosshair's back, so there's possibilities for Bloody to maybe sneak on through near logs. Though not the situation though. He's trying to play time, maybe fake the essence of him going down to his garage. Crosshair's gonna confirm it with information and a face fact of it. That's gonna be hard. Both the players set up for that post plant. Yeah, Bloody needs a
Yeah.
couple of crucial and couple of precise kills if he is to find a round like this.
He's got the cloud burst, already uses it, trying to half stick it, but in doing so he is concussed, tagged, and out of it. So, TrueRippers, they wanted to waste time in that post plant scenario. They did just that, got the kill, got the pistol. And for both of the teams, the pistol round has been pretty darn influential because, yeah, many times, especially in Fracture, we saw that force buy coming from the side of TR, where even though Paradise won the pistol, TrueRippers forced their way in, won round number 2, and then it was Paradise themselves who had to go for an eco. In this case, though, things will be much simpler. TrueRippers are going for the most anti-eco buy possible, which is all Spectres, all full armor, as... for the side of Paradise, just going to be a couple of Sheriffs on their side, but even other than that, ooh, they've got Classics, and Crosshair, he's got to realize that even the Classic can just completely take the soul out of his body, so he better be careful with what kind of angle he holds. But the remaining members of TrueRippers already in the B-bomb side alongside the Spike.
Yeah, a small lurk play coming in from that Omen. Crosshair is so low that's... oh, there we go. There we go, finally did it. It should be the push as well. Dean needs to try saving alive. There is presence, 2 players with Garage, and they're finding these isolated fights. The fact that TrueRippers are giving these fights away is worrying, because look at the rest of their forces. It's only left towards Garage and C-Link. A slow bother as man advantage goes the other way, and it yet again folds. 2 versus 4. This needs to be the big play from Master, and he's playing well alongside Bones. He's the only one left to make a play, and it's Bloody to finish the job off. The one-dimensional post plan the TrueRippers went towards C-Link. Yeah, they couldn't afford for their mid-presence to be so dwindlingly weak.
Yeah, TrueRippers just got too over-eager with the kind of angles they were peeking, and they just started flooding in wherever they want. They started like chasing after the members of Paradise, and Paradise obviously capitalized off of that because they stuck together. They went for those trades, and it ended up working really well. You know, you had Sai towards Mid, who gave his skill. Then Bones fell back towards Garage. He still survived for a bit longer, but now everyone in TrueRippers, big mistake. And TrueRippers are going to go for a force buy. So now the economy is again in a interesting scenario. TrueRippers are not going to go for a full-on save. Rather, they're going to execute their way into the A-bomb side with the Spectres that they have. One tap god wins one gunfight as the Neon. He should be looking for more. Now he's been shut down. But there are more members of Paradise Esports pushing into A. All of them, though, have dwindled out. Why? Because of the smokes. Because TrueRippers prevent any lines of sight from being held. And now the spike can go down.
Pushing through the side, the shock dart just closed them momentarily, and that's enough aside to find that kill. A double, in fact, on a flicker as well. Why not? This is a game of Tom and Jerry at this point. You can't predict what's gonna happen at all, CCV. The team that's technically supposed to have the better guns is falling prey to such CQC behavior. And TrueRippers, this is the one thing I love about that draft. It's so Revenant-esque, especially when you pull in things like the Breach, the Astra. You really love to see Haven in this sense, because the utility dump, especially on the post plant, is tremendous. And that's something I can't wait for. TrueRippers on their defense. I want to see what their retake setup is like. At least their lineup screams retake, so... With the start now, we still can't expect TrueRippers to maintain this, can we? Because we've seen everything in the series so far, and Paradise Esports, they're in the realm of pulling out such bamboozling-like plays.
Right. And for that very reason, wait, Protagonist died outside of B main. I mean, I guess, yeah, it's a weaker buy from the members of Paradise. I think they're not really going in full force with like rifles and all that, but still, Protagonist was caught out in a very vulnerable position. So the members of P, they've got to be a lot more careful with the gunfights they go for. Bones from behind, that's a double, a triple for him. Easy pickings. Just swing by, no one is watching you, and you can see everything that's going on. Get rid of everyone that's in the server, with the exception of Bloody, but he's going to be eliminated as well. Only a single person died on the side of TrueRippers. Again, a very thorough, done and dusted round. Quickly, efficiently, that's it. A job well done. Now, we go into the real meat and potatoes of it, because this is where both the teams have got full buys. They've got rifles, full armor, operator on bloody, and the ultimates are present as well. This is the round that will decide a lot. If Paradise lose this, TrueRippers will keep on building this lead on attack, and it's going to be very difficult stopping that momentum. So for Paradise, this is kind of a do or die round.
Paradise, there is a lot written on this round, because not only do they have to dismantle this round, then they have the Neon All, they have their foes, they have a lot of things to then claw their way through the paranoia. Gonna stop this momentarily, but doesn't stop the spam potential that Dean has, which he will fulfill. Seekers out on the board, and TrueRippers still managed to find the even trade, which is in and of itself magnificent. I never assumed that they'd come to this point. No, Dean! Oh, what? What?
One enemy remaining.
Bro, this is
Oh my
unbelievable! Oh, Dean! He's gonna send all these kids back to school as he just plays with them. Fear from shadow, more like fear from smoke, bro.
My god, that was... Boy. How did Dean manage to... You know, I'm not even gonna question it. They didn't see it. I mean, it wasn't like Dean who really got that amazing play. It was a bit of oversight on the side of TrueRippers as well, missing him. But yeah, within the smokes, you can't really see what's going on. So, again, very good round from the side of Paradise. They held on, and yeah, now TrueRippers are the ones who are in a little bit of economic trouble. Not just yet. If they lose this round, then for sure, they can afford another full buy. And the good thing is, for their side, they have 4... Oh, I was going to say 4 ultimates. Now they only have 3. As Flicker with the Torre Force eliminates the other chamber who's in the server. Only 1 Frenchman can remain. And for this time, it's going to be for the team in defense.
Yep, they did spot a decent bit on the back of that tail blaze, though. Information present inside Paradise Esports. Alongside that man advantage, they should be the one playing comfort, right? They should be the one just chilling. I've seen this before. I've seen this on Ascent. We need to see again. The utility, so hard hitting. But the Hunter's Fury out from Sai, and it's not found as many connections as he'd like. The double, the triple, and Gay Head G. The sky is absolutely the limit for them to enter this B site.
Oh boy, again from TrueRippers. Wait, would you correct me if I'm wrong, but 4 of them, all of them came in from just B main, right? They had the Hunter's Fury, but that's a bit dodgy, I'm not gonna lie. Like, all 4 of them bottlenecking through B main. The paranoia from Dean hit them, well, hit a couple of them as well. The flashes were present. Yeah, from TrueRippers, they've got to relax a bit. They have to take things slowly. This is now the eco round. There's not much they can do. One tap god is the Neon. He's got the ult. Better use it to the fullest extent whenever he does. Yesterday, we saw some amazing Neon plays. You know, we had Android, we had Paradox. Both of those guys absolutely lit the stage on fire with how they were playing the Neon. Really, one tap god is playing a lot more passively. And it's taking a different approach to Neon. Maybe this is because of the fact that it's an eco round. You don't want to take so much risk. But then again, if it's an eco round, just push in. Try to go for kills. Try to find something. TrueRippers are waiting this out. They are doing something in an eco round which they should be doing in a full buy, which is sitting and waiting for the defenders, waiting for their peaks. But it's not going to lead to anything. Now we are going to be seeing the ult from Neon. But it's going to be the Rolling Thunder encounter from Paradise. And bloody, he's looking to hold down the bomb site. One tap god pushing in. That's no kills for him. Protagonist another. And a near flawless round. That was 10 seconds. And everyone in TrueRippers completely fell apart towards A main and A shot from Paradise Esports.
Dude, that was so reliant on one tap god finding something there, right? If you would have found one kill, it would have been enough chaos. It would have been a trade. It would have been another member compensating for that loss. Hence, another angle opens up. The best possible outcome for Paradise Esports in that round, and they've gotten it. Now, they've gotten that operator on bloody. They've been able to, at least to some extent, hold off closer peaks, and bloody finally knocks on wood, gets some luck, gets the opening kill. TrueRippers gotta be feeling a little shook.
Taking that back.
They've lost one tap god, which means that their dive bomb, or what some people call it, a blue recon darts, out of the picture. Now, they need to slow the pace down. The only problem is when you have that operator on the other side, when you slow the pace down, it makes it such easy pickings, right? So they need to be calculated in their approach. They can't let time down for waste, as they have only a minute left on the clock, and more than that, utility is going to be key. They have that astral wall CCV. That could either be really good to get to the plant or play the post plan, and it looks like they're gonna choose the first out of the latter. That information is given away on purpose, so they might overlook HKG, and that is a very unfortunate frag. Paradise Esports, they had a small upper hand walking into that hold, but they needed to snap their way back into safety and snap back into action, as this retake better happen fast.
From Paradise, they've got no ultimates to work with, but still they have heaps of utility. And a gunfight, well, to a certain extent, are going their way. Look at that, Bloody gets another kill, and with the Sheriff there in the bomb site. But now Master is going to get the headshot, and this time from TrueRippers, a far better execute. They had every angle covered, they knew what to check for, and they did. So excellent stuff. We are going to be seeing a timeout being taken from Paradise. And TrueRippers, for all the mistakes that have happened in the attack a couple of the times, the thing is that both the teams are still level. The score is 4-4 right now. So you don't necessarily know, or nobody can necessarily predict exactly what's going to happen in this half, and potentially obviously in the next half as well. We don't know. We are not even going to talk about the second half, the side swap. But right now, it is any team up for grabs. You know, we may see another 7-5 half like what we saw on Fracture. We can see another 8-4 as well, although it is unlikely. Point being that any team can swoop in and get the edge over their opposition in this first half when things matter a lot before the side swap eventually happens.
I gotta say though, you know, all things said and done, I'm so happy that Paradise Esports having a start like this changes the picture. Both sides still looking, like you said, in a position they can contest for this W, right? That's exactly what I was looking for. This lower bracket run for either team has already started off with quite the sweaty affair. This map 3, sure, PE on the defense, they have this first 4 rounds, but in any map, if it's a map that you're not comfortable with, the defense is the more comfortable half to start off with. The attack is really where you need to start making more of a calculated approach and have more of a synchronized story to tell. And TrueRippers, they're gonna try their hands at it. One tap god. Yeah, getting stopped by that isn't really the best part of the plan. Fletcher, no! That was so unfortunate. Look at protagonist though. Oh, you talk about unfortunate, and it stings like a bee, and it's like lightning. It strikes twice. I mean, I'm talking about things that aren't supposed to happen, and that's exactly this round, isn't it?
Yeah.
What the hell is happening? Paradise need to save this op.
Bloody can't go for it. Not with the Astral Star next to him. That can become a Gravity Well, a Nova, anything to, you know, get him killed, essentially. But he's still going to push it. The crossfire is there. Bones is holding the angle. He spots the barrel of the gun. The operator is gone. When Dean, with the Spectre, is saving, why was Bloody looking for a kill? Why was he so desperate for that? Because now, problem is, OG, not even Dean can retrieve the operator. It's truly gone. And TrueRippers, they're going to have a flawless round win. So again, from the side of Paradise, yeah, they got to realize that get a bit better at like not just go for the retakes, but try and force off TrueRippers. And my apologies for calling the Spectre. The skin makes it look weird. It was the Phantom that was saved by Dean, but point still being that the operator was dropped, and Flicker is going to go for another. So Paradise Esports, they have a couple of credits in the bank right now, and they are going to save forward, potentially looking for the next round as well, trying to go for a bit of future planning. But TrueRippers look to be well on top of this game for the time being.
Oh, immediate contention, and Bloody could have gone for the double detach away, and that is him to certain death. God, there is no TP setup. It's only gonna be on KHG to find a rebuttal, which for now he's held the line. Cool. The HP on Master isn't, on Bones isn't really all that much. And he's making a dart all the way back to that C side. Seekers though should be enough information. And it should be enough for TrueRippers to try faking around with. They give away 2 Seekers towards this A side deliberately to keep the defense stuck on towards that side. And Dean is the only one now in a position to be a difference maker. Although he is pushed aside, and him trying to be a sole hero right now would be a fool's play. Ooh. He still got
Oh,
it.
spike doesn't go down.
That's the high HP player. And now time's being bought. Bones, 30 HP, and this forces both of them to play together. The post plan not really a possibility, as both the initiators now on the side of Paradise Esports attempt this retake. The flash, this almost pitch perfect, but there's no support from KHG, which leads to this just dismantling as it was in fruition. And a very, very well executed call towards that mid round, although you just gotta give it, right? You just gotta give it for PE. It was a situation where they looked to be in control of their 3 versus 3. And just by virtue of not playing your hand in that situation, they lose control. They tried their very best, cool, but that is just TrueRippers playing this offense like you're supposed to. If it's between 3 sides, you juggle around, you try never letting your enemy feel a sense of comfort.
Ooh.
Salt.
Oh, bloody. Excellent Excellent headshot right there. One tap gone, looking for something towards the B bomb side. He needs to check the corners. The crossfire is present, even though it's sheriffs and headhunters. It can still. Oh no! Flicker was it a team flash? I think it was an unfortunate team flash. It could have been a kill, but it won't be happening right now. Flicker can't see anything. The neon wall prevents him from over peeking. And from behind, you've also got, Bloody with the Blade Storm. Now, TrueRippers, they are going to be executing onto the C bomb side. The Rolling Thunder is dead. Nebula prevents him from seeing anything. However, Dean wanted to push from that. It still won't be. KHG alongside Bloody, they're going for this double pincer move. Bloody gets one, looking for another. No, he cannot land that. Even though Sai was concussed, Bones still helps out a great ton from behind next to the container of 4K for the Astrom. And that is round number 7 for TrueRippers, certifying a lead at the very least in this half.
Bones was so instrumental in their ability to fight back. The fact that he was able to catch Paradise Esports off as they tried to re-enter that side, it felt so premature, didn't it? They didn't need to commit to that instant maneuver where they fight the control. Oh. Goodness Christ, that could have been a round that got us very close to an equalizer, but that's pushed TrueRippers even more further into the lead. Holy hell. What is that? Pugani Peak? At least they make it back to safety.
Yeah, that's like drag racing kind of peak, those kind of speeds. But regardless of that, alright, that's a prime neon in place. Flicker as well, dealing a lot of damage. One tap god goes into the C bomb side. Hunter's Fury, Cosmic Divide, Paradise Esports falling back, and they are getting damage dealt to them as TrueRippers now have planted the spike. The problem is the retake is on in full force. Paranoia and a flash means that Flicker can't get the opening kill. Protagonist goes for the trade, and Dean is looking to push forward from Garage. But wherever Paradise are pushing from, they are in the bomb side. TrueRippers are covering the angles. They're getting the kills, and the trades are present. Again, it's Bones in the C bomb side who gets the final 2 kills. The previous round was the 4K. This time it was just sealing the deal, meaning that TrueRippers have a 4-round lead over Paradise.
This is to some extent heartbreaking considering the amount of chances Paradise Esports had. And the rounds that they did win were so well put together, right? I think, 2 of them close to being flawless, 1 of them being flawless, in fact. So, an 8-4 half doesn't really speak justice as to what PE's preparation for this half is to some extent in terms of the strat book, but at least versatility and experience, yeah, that's showing well for TrueRippers. In their ability to recompose themselves, and their ability to play time and play rotations, more importantly. Now on the defense, this is where things start to get a little still more sweeter for TrueRippers, right? This is where the retake utility is on full force. This is when you know where your enemy is, you can box them in, and then you can do whatever you want with that box. Play Portal for all you care about with it.
Right. Now, looking at the players, still, similar faces. Credit to the players. I mean, it has been a while since we've been in this BO3. We started at 4 p.m. IST. It's about to be 2.5 hours, almost 2.5 hours. And this is map number 3. And the players, they still look completely energetic. Obviously, it can be, because of what's at stake. This is the lower bracket after all. If you, the viewer watching as well, if you would like to stay energetic for this long, make sure you scan the QR code, go in the link down below, get yourself some Red Bull for your rank sessions, or if you just want to enjoy some Valorant, because right here at the Esports Club, we not just have this best of 3. At 8 p.m. IST, we have another best of 3. And of course, the Esports Club, we are the home of Indian esports. We've got so many other esports titles going off right this very second. We've had so many other tournaments that are taking place, so make sure you're subscribed as well and you follow us on all our socials to never miss your favorite games being live streamed. Right now, if you're watching this, chances are you have a particular liking for Valorant, and well, good news for you, round number 13, the side swap is here, the game is resuming, and now we can start off watching TrueRippers on defense and Paradise Esports launch in execution. For this time, Paradise are taking things very slowly. Spike is not with any of the players. They're holding the angles. They're waiting it out. Protagonist, 50 HP for him. He's got to flash his way to escape. And yeah, he is escaping. He does not want to take any gunfight. He's like, nope, just get me out of this position. I've already lost half my HP. He is healed back to pretty much all. But now he goes down below 0 as well. And the opening kill goes with the team in blue.
But why would he peek like that, though? That's some unfortunate stuff. The fight that could have been avoided. Flicker has been an absolute monster. Okay. Not opting to take that fight. Wants to go back towards safety. And they want to go back towards the A side. They have only one man to deal with. And that's one tap god. Although they hear the rotations. 35 seconds left. The opportunities for them are starting to look thin, and so are the numbers. They don't account for one tap god who's still trying to shoot his bullets away. Oh, he gets the doink and the finish. Nice stuff, TrueRippers. That is criminal. How is one tap god even allowed to shoot and be immobile for so long at the same time being lethal?
It's just another
punish.
mystery, I guess. Now, oh no. Oh, the thing is, OG, are you looking at the score? How many rounds do Paradise have?
4.
What was the score of the previous 2 maps?
Oh god. Okay.
Yeah.
So now you go in superstition. Nice.
No, I'm
Like
just
City
saying. No, absolutely not. How every single talent right now here at the Esports Club is against me for the curses. Yesterday I was with Universe. He was mentioning the 9-3 curse. Today you're doing it. Aggie, I know, is just pro curse every single day. Unfair. But right now, let's focus on the game at hand. Paradise Esports looking for a B take. It's just an eco round from their side. They've got classics in hand. They are against just specters, and just hear the sound of like 3-4 specters firing in unison, and you get the fear instigated in you. So yeah, another quick done and dusted round. Paradise glad that it's over and glad that they can go for a full buy now.
Should I play some stars in this reality?
Well, 3 rounds are what TrueRippers need, right? In all honesty, let's look at the other hypothetical. Paradise Esports win 3 rounds. It becomes what, 7-10, and TrueRippers' economy might then be for broke. Realistically, there's still a chance. There always is. That's the beauty of esports. That's the beauty of Valorant.
True.
But is it going to be given? That's a secondary. TrueRippers look very prepped for Haven. With the last 2 rounds on the defense, it looks like they have a basic game plan sorted out. The only question is, on a round like this, or a bonus, what's the way you improvise? They need to take it CQC somewhere. They have a couple of opportunities. They can either camp a little bit towards Garage B and C, try to retake A a little bit, and play close range with the utility to help them get to that range. It'll be not that hard, but to then win the fights out is purely on the gunfights. Apart from that, they also have that opportunity to walk up A long and A short and try taking the fight twofold, but it's not really as advantageous, and the transition is not that easy from A long to close to lobby. So they need to be smart here, TrueRippers. They should not give any room to Paradise Esports, and this is the round that Paradise Esports are going to be vying for that small window. Oh, what?
Oh my god.
That's what I meant.
That is one of the most toxic things. Oh my, that was, you know what, it was smart. The concussion was there. He sprinted in, he fell back safely. Fair play to one tap god, but Jesus, if I was on the receiving end of that,
the mid push,
it's
though.
It's an alt F4 from me. Now, from Paradise though, it's going to be an A take, but yeah, as you just mentioned, OG, the backstab, the flank is present from TrueRippers from mid towards A main. Dean spots a couple of the members.
No,
He's
Dean.
concussed, and oh, he also goes down. Paradise in a heap of trouble now.
What? Dude, that's a Spectre! How are they winning these fights?
Last player
This is
standing.
criminal close range. It doesn't matter. TrueRippers are still gonna rip through the rest of... Oh, that was a beautiful double, but still, TrueRippers ripping through the defense that Paradise Esports try to mount on this post plant. Dude, the way they make the Spectres sing and ring-a-ding-ding, it is just sad. That was the hope. That was the hope for Paradise Esports to maybe contest the second half, maybe keep that lower bracket run alive. But right now, it seems like a dream far, far from reality, and it's just that, a dream, isn't it? TrueRippers, they look cold, they look in the mojo for business, and they just want to finish off what they started.
Absolutely, and really they are well within their right to finish this off. 2 rounds separate them. We can have a best of 3 where all 3 maps have had the same score. It can be a 13-4, 13-4, 13-4, but for that to happen, TrueRippers do need to win the next 2 rounds consecutively. In Paradise, they're adamant on not letting TrueRippers get that. As for is it going to happen or not, the initial kill can always tell you a lot of things. In the previous round, one tap got push from mid, push from garage, got an amazing first kill, fell back safely. This time, both the teams are trying to, stay within their own rights. Paradise are huddled together in this mid area. All 5 of them are here. They're waiting for map control, and they're just waiting for an opportunity. They may just get a chamber versus chamber very soon. Now, both of them move away. And in the B-bomb side, it's going to be Bloody, who infiltrates within the defenses and gets 1 kill.
They made their way to the C side here. They have a small advantage, man advantage to play on the back off. Beautiful job from Bones to try and rebuttal, but yeah, the window flank is just so much more powerful when you have no inkling. Flicker even knows the position on the side. So, damage maybe? TrueRippers can certainly try and take a couple of these guns away. Oh god, he's just toying around with Dean has not had the best of games, and he's been a very, very sorry victim that TrueRippers have been orchestrating so far. The stick, it is not committed, and the trade is though. It's a Neon. Time is of the essence, and the perfect hero to make time. Nice shot, but not the clutch, sir. Thank you very much. Paradise Esports are going to take this round in their book.
Alright, well, see, there is no such thing as superstitions and curses. Paradise Esports, they get their 5th round. At the very least, it's going to be a 13-5. At the very most, it's going to be a 13-11. Who knows? Maybe this is the comeback that Paradise are looking for. But definitely for the time being, the momentum on the side of TrueRippers has been stopped. We can see the scoreboard. The past 8 rounds won back-to-back in consecution by TR, and Paradise have finally put an end to it. So they will breathe a big sigh of relief. They'll be like, oh, thank God. We've been able to stop these guys, even if it's temporarily, still better than nothing. TrueRippers, they themselves will be looking to swing back in twice the fashion. Sai quite early into the round went for the Hunter's Fury. Doesn't look like it dealt any damage to the opponent. So still that's 1 ultimate gone off the board. Good for Paradise. And they themselves have used the Blade Storm that Bloody has It's just, again, a matter of where did they find the opening. The previous round was excellent in that. Bloody got the kill onto B, and the remaining 4 players went to the C bomb side, creating the perfect distraction. This time, TrueRippers are going to be a lot more, hesitant in rotating away.
They clear the tail base as well. 3 members now on this A side on defense duty as the rotations just come in at the nick of time. Utility though still gonna isolate some of these fights. Flash, re-aggression before they expected. Nice job on Master. He clears the close angles and one tap got all the way from heaven. He drops down a hellish display of skill. They get the first and the recon is enough for Side to find yet another. He tries to disengage, which causes him to be out in the open, and now a 2 versus 2. They need to play this one together. They have a swap of weapons as well. Crosshair goes on to the Phantom. You let him take point. Get the kill. Snap out. No, the double rather for me. This is just so well done. If there was any trade that they were hesitant to take here, Paradise Esports, this could have been a TrueRipper round. This was so tooth and nail. TrueRippers threw everything they can, every second they could. And DE still stand strong. But how long can they be standing is the question. Because yet again, TrueRippers 2 rounds away from knocking Paradise Esports out of the Community Cup and keeping TrueRippers' own low bracket dream alive.
Let's play.
Absolutely, for the side of TrueRippers right now, 2 rounds away, but Paradise are inching closer and closer. Now the buffer period is just of like 5 rounds before both the teams equalize the score, and after that point you can never really know exactly what's going to happen. So now you see that for the side of Paradise, exactly where they'll be pushing, and it's going to be the C bomb side. Rolling Thunder goes through. Bones evades it. Well, he evades the attackers. Now the Rolling Thunder. Crosshair could have gotten an extremely well coordinated kill by peeking out from Garage, but it just isn't meant to be. Spike is gonna go down. All the reinforcements are present, and now TrueRippers are just sitting and waiting for the perfect retake. But can Paradise be the ones to hold them off?
There needs to be utility though. First things first, information. Sai's gonna drone the front lines, but the drone gets taken off. Trying to lay down a recon, and Crosshair is then committing on the push. Has the rendezvous, so can TP out of harm's way. TrueRippers on the verge of doing this. It's all on a flicker. A 1 versus 3. The Tode Force needs to come in full action. He misses the first, tries to go for the second, but that's enough cover being bought for Bones. Just take the defuse. Map, match, and low bracket point. For TrueRippers. They are the ones with the opportunity to keep their dream alive in the Community Cup. Paradise Esports.
That works.
Oh, what could have been. First half was decent, right? But we did mention is when you go over to the attack, it is far more crucial for you to have a solid game plan. And that is being firmly exploited here by TrueRippers.
Absolutely. So look at that fearlessness and one tap. God, the amount of area he covers on A main and the information he gets. He is telling to his teammates, guys, there's nobody on A. Focus on B, focus on C. That's exactly where they're focusing on. And Bones, A gets 1, gets a second, still in the bomb site. Oh, bloody.
Nice trades.
He also gets the second
It's
kill.
done.
But Crosshair
Defenders win.
ends things off in tremendous fashion with the Tore Force. And this 2.5-hour long saga comes to an end with TrueRippers winning the best of 3 against Paradise Esports, eliminating them, and themselves they'll be moving on forward into the lower brackets.
Oh, you can see that they're a little disappointed here. Paradise Esports, KG, not the widest smile, but it happens. It is what it is, my friend. Kudos, maybe. But that is sadly the end of their journey here in the Community Cup presented by the Esports Club. This was a little anticlimactic, right? After the first half, I assumed that, you know what, this is a Paradise Esports who could contest, who could take this close to the wire, who might even be able to scratch double digits, if not at least, take the win, they could give them a run for the money. But wasn't the case. TrueRippers, even when that second half turned around, they seemed so well in their comfort zone. And to get this victory in this fashion, I hope that it's something that continues, because TrueRippers are one of the teams in the lower bracket who are favored to make this lower bracket dream work. And the fact that it went to a map 3, not really the best of results, but I think the score lines that they won in would keep them more than happy. Fracture, sure, a map that they did not expect walking into this best of 3 matchup. So even if they did take the L there in such a fashion, shouldn't really pose that big of a problem with their morale. The W, the more important prize in your eye, that's what you've gotten, and I think they're going to be very happy tonight.
Absolutely, TrueRippers should be ecstatic with themselves. They won the 2 maps, they'll be moving on forward. They had a lot of competition against Paradise, and Paradise definitely an amazing up-and-coming team, well within their own rights. I, for certain, will be eyeing them the next time we see them here at the Esports Club for whichever tournament takes place. But yeah, this is the end of their journey. Still, exceptional performance towards the very end. It really got heated extremely. And overall, there was a lot of back and forth. That was the thing. The scores, if you look at them from a broader perspective, just like an overlooking perspective, it may not suggest that like 13-4, 13-6, all of that. That's not really back and forth, but the rounds surely were. And the way in which the rounds were going away to and fro from the teams, from Paradise to TrueRippers, and vice versa, that was really exceptional. And it goes to show that the teams are of like similar enough caliber, but there are times where one team will excel at their performance compared to their opposition, and there are times where one team will have just such a better performance overall. We'll bring up the highlights as soon as possible as well, and then we can have a look at it in a better perspective, seeing how Haven went. So let's bring up the highlights and let's have a look right from round number 1.
Yeah. The start of the game, like we've always mentioned it, looked even. Paradise Esports looked like a chance again for them to contest for this W, for them to be more proactive in this map. And granted, compared to Ascent, this was a map where they seemed a little more vocal. They had more of a chance in a lot of these rounds, and it came down to the wire. The mid game, I think, is what we should learn from TrueRippers. Even after, let's say, gruesome control towards A short, or even a brawl out towards mid, when it comes down to that 2 versus 2 or 3 versus 2, something along that lines, the way TrueRippers then start to play the game is just brilliant. And in the context of Paradise Esports, do you think that a lot of this has to do with prep? Because on the defense, there were a couple of rounds, like we said, got close, but the others, TrueRippers, they had a good understanding of how to navigate themselves. On the offense, this is where things changed. It looked like they were just running around hoping that they find the fight that they were asking for rather than demanding it. And by that, I mean, they're trying to enter a site and see what duels come and take them as they come. It doesn't seem like there is utility for a set plan for them to get the fights that they need to get the site, and then thereafter the round.
Yeah, overall, the utility usage as well, and their positioning, it got dicey, and it definitely was a bit lacking. But from the side of TrueRippers, it was still, I mean, the confidence was there. Having a look at the highlights also, the gunfights that they took, I feel like both the teams, their innate sense of taking the gunfights is heavily reliant on the kind of map that they are playing, because you see the performances that Paradise had on Ascent and right now on Haven. Not very, very good, but still decent enough. But on Fracture, it was something else. They were out of their minds. They were killing everyone and were in their crosshairs. As for TrueRippers, it's kind of a similar situation. On Ascent and Haven, they're performing really well. They had their standout moments. The clutches were present. As the scorecard can give us a better representation of them, because we can see a lot more numbers. So yeah, Sai this time having 19 kills. Bones absolutely as the Astra, 21, 285 average combat score, 291 average combat score. Bloody as well, 292. So we had these standout players, but overall from Paradise, it got a bit lackluster towards the end. Flicker, who was the MVP of the previous map, this time having a relatively quiet day, 10 kills, 17 deaths, protagonist with 6. Towards the tail end of things, yeah, Paradise were a little lesser than TrueRippers in terms of the fragging department.
Yeah, but I have to say this though, if anybody is going to be the series MVP, it has to be Sai, right? Brilliant performance in map 3. Map 1 came in with a load of clutches to save his team out of very sticky situations. And in all honesty, out of everybody in the roster for TrueRippers, map 2, it felt like it was more or less either the Sai or occasionally even the Bones show. But yeah, Sai was the one who really didn't chip off in terms of what he could deliver to his team across his best of 3. And that's what's required of him from this roster. If you take a look at it, Crosshair, Bones, One Tap God, phenomenal individual talent. And alongside Master, who's more of the setup play and more of the consistent piece to this puzzle, I feel like that level of regularity at which Sai can make impact is what's changed this team and is what I hope carries this team forward to better results and even a better showing in this Community Cup.
Definitely so. And now, looking at the MVPs as well, I mean, for this map, I think it is going to be Cyber. Overall, I want to see, it can be Bloody as well. He does have a higher, just by like 1 point, he has a higher average combat score. But overall, I want to see the series MVP, who has had like the most consistent performance throughout this BO3, because this was definitely a lengthy one, and this is just the first BO3 we have today. So yeah, Paradise, they will be disheartened. Both the matches that they've had to play, once against Revenant, once against TrueRippers, they will be the first team getting eliminated from the Community Cup, but there's still a lot that they can learn from how this has gone. And yeah, the match MVP is going to be Bloody again, because of the fact that he has the higher average combat score, 292, 5 first bloods out of 19.
Nice.
So that's that. And then obviously, you've got 16 kills, 15 deaths. Yeah, when you're playing the role of Jet, when you are aggressively pushing forward every single doorway, as I always say, as the entry fragger, man, you're gonna die a lot. It's about the kills you get, and he did manage to get quite a few of them.
Yeah, in all honesty, I feel like the Jet that was out from One Tap God is the only thing that rivaled Bloody's performance, right? It felt like with how... talk about the demon man's on your screen right now. Dude, I feel sad for Sai. Not gonna lie. I feel like this is one of the few matches where he wholly deserved that MVP. Although, not in terms of frags and ACS, purely in terms of impact and performance. Nonetheless, talking about performance, One Tap God, the man who is set up on TrueRippers to deliver performance day in, day out, has delivered it on this time of asking. On the time of asking, where TrueRippers, to some extent, sorely needed it, right? If you saw One Tap God in Haven, if One Tap God had a fall off in his performance in the series, that's the opening that Paradise Esports hypothetically could have abused to a mile and at least gotten off double digits, even if not take a victory. So it's good to see this man have such a good and consistent impact every time he's on a stream, because it doesn't feel like there's a TrueRippers without a One Tap God.
Yeah, that is the thing. On Top God, my God, oof, he was something today. Just too shy away from dropping the 50 bomb, but overall exceptional performance. 13 plus first bloods as well. So that's also really good when you are at the forefront of attacks, of defenses, essentially at the forefront of your team. When you are battling against opponents, getting the first bloods is it's a thing of beauty. And the more you get them for your roster, the more anyone gets them for their roster, the more beneficial it is for the team in the longer run, both in the rounds and in the overall halves and sides and whatnot. But yeah, definitely for side of One Tap God, he will be one happy person. TrueRippers, they will be quite happy the fact that they've managed to win. They will have confidence in the maps that they won. For Ascent and Haven, they'll be like, good maps, we took the win. But the thing is, for Fracture, they'll probably be like, okay, you know what, let's ban Fracture from next time forward. Maybe we don't necessarily have to play it. Maybe we can try out other maps, or maybe our opposition will ban it for ourselves. So who knows? But overall, tremendous performance, definitely really, really good. Very soon we can have a look at the brackets as well and see exactly how the teams are doing and see exactly what's going to be taking place later on today at 8 p.m. But I gotta say, this was one entertaining matchup. Looking at the veto, we went to all 3 of the maps. 13-4 the first map, 13-4 the second map, and now 13-6 to seal it off. TrueRippers are your winners.
Yeah, this very well could be 39, but it is what it is, 13-6. Now for TrueRippers, things are not over yet. For their concern, the 4 teams in the upper bracket right now, teams like Medal, teams like Revenant, it's gonna become a more steeper, a more uphill climb from here on out. This is just the start, and I think they have a good setting in the foothills now, right? They also have another interesting candidate in terms of ROG Academy, who might get a chance to deal with them in a lower bracket matchup. Because let's be honest, out of every single team that's present here in the Community Cup, let's go them by names. So TrueRippers recently added a newer player, Revenant new players, Medal newer players, ROG newer players, Lethal. I'm pretty sure that they still have a decent bit of their older core still up. I still need to double check that though. Only friends, perfect upset for the tournament. Now they find themselves between the claws of Revenant. So it's gonna be quite the affair once we get to see the upper bracket matchup.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I definitely want to see that. And yeah, for all the viewers as well, today we also had off stream another match going on, which was Prime 5 up against ROG Academy. Looks like that also went to the decider map. Whew. But Prime 5 do end up taking the win. And now we only have our 2 upper bracket matches remaining. So today at 8 p.m. IST, that is only in an hour and 15 minutes. Make sure you have your reminders. Make sure you're subscribed to the Esports Club so you don't miss that notification. Yeah, it is going to be, only friends up against Revenant Esports. I would say my money is on Revenant just yet because of how they've been playing and because they're such a well-known team. Only Friends, they've had their ups and downs. I still remember Only Friends back in the Gauntlet days, the final 2 seasons of the Esports Club Gauntlet when I had just joined. I was seeing them, and towards the end their performances got I wouldn't say like lackluster, just like a little below than what you would expect from a team like OnlyFriends, who have been in the game for quite a long time, even though they're not like the most popular team, or they haven't played in like all the tier 1 events and all, or they're not like a tier 1 team. They still have been around for quite a while. I think they've had a couple of roster changes. Some people have left, some have joined recent additions, but still, keeping that in mind, my money's on Revenant for this matchup. I'm still not going to say anything just yet. I'm not going to predict completely that, oh yeah, Revenant are going to win. If I had to choose a team, it would be R&T. OG, I know you're smiling. Trust me. After,
me and Universe fell into the same trap, so I completely get it, my friend.
No. I'll tell you this from a personal experience, and for any viewers watching, if you guys don't watch Rainbow Six, please, first of all, please do. Amazing game. But yeah, here at the Esports Club, we had another tournament of that. And in the grand finals, after looking at the previous match histories and all that, I had personally predicted very confidently it's going to be a 3-1 win for XYZ team. I was very confident that my prediction was all over social media. I was like, yep, that's going to happen. That team ended up losing 0-3 in the best of 5. And I was like, there's a... Yeah, there are lessons you learn as a caster that you're like, okay, you know what? Maybe prediction is not my thing. Ever since then, I've not made a single prediction, like a wholehearted prediction. I'm only saying like non-biased things, like maybe this can happen, and I think it's going to stick with me for the rest of my life now. But, that was a bad day. Still very entertaining grand finale though, nonetheless. My prediction was wrong. I still had tons of fun casting that finals. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I think out of every match, you should not jinx that one, because Revenant are like clear favorites for this tournament. So if you end up upsetting the like of Revenant Esports, boy oh boy, the Only Friends have more than just a story on their hands. And let's hope that you might just in a subtle way indicate that they're taking a W, and then they actually might. You never know when this caster's curse actually hits you. That's why you lose half your jig. But in all honesty, is there anything else that you expected with today's lower bracket matchup? Because let's face it, today, with this being close to the 3rd, 4th day in broadcast, our first team has taken an outing.
Yes.
So
today
I think all things said and done, I'm satisfied, dude. Especially with the way Paradise Esports took that outing. It seems like it was well fought for, and TrueRippers truly deserve that lower bracket seat.
Absolutely, yeah. TrueRippers definitely deserve that. For Paradise, I said this before as well, they just had an unfortunate seeding in the brackets, because their first opponents, they were like Revenant, very experienced team. Like you said, clear favorites in my opinion. Like out of like 2 teams, they're definitely one of the favorites. My other would be like Lethal Esports, but otherwise definitely one of the top 2 or 3 teams that are participating in the Community Cup. And then they fell into the lower brackets. They went up against TrueRippers, who didn't have the best of starts as well after losing to Only Friends. But still, TrueRippers have heaps and heaps of experience in their lineup. You know, with Sai being an addition as well, also it only instills that even further. So keeping that in mind, Paradise just had an unfortunate time. Hopefully, the next time we see them, like I said, in here, the Esports Club, maybe they'll have a better performance. But one thing is for sure. You do not go up against Paradise on the map of Fracture. You are going to get slapped there. Revenant managed to take a win yesterday, 13-9, but still 13-9, fairly close. Today, TrueRippers, it wasn't the case, but TR still managed to secure the win nonetheless. The second match, the second best of 3 is going to be a lot more intense, but my expectations from this lower bracket matchups were thoroughly fulfilled. We went to a decider map. We saw heartbreak on the teams. The player camps definitely were very interesting. You know, the emotions we could witness, and it was full of drama, and it was full of a lot of intense gunfights and a lot of amazing moments as well. You had headshots, you had clutches, you had 4Ks and whatnot. I still remember on Ascent, One Tap God's 4K that he got with the Marshall. The second shot onto Bloody, who was the Jet, towards Catwalk. Sheesh, that's still embedded in my mind with how good it was. But yeah, overall amazing performances. What are your closing thoughts, OG?
My closing thoughts are of optimism, because, you know, there is a small chance that we might get to see the upset rematch. With how the brackets are placed, now Only Friends have to go up against Revenant Esports, right? So, you know,
Right.
I'm being a rational Valorant user right now and saying that Revenant have that matchup. Let it be 2-1, let it be 2-0, whatever. They have that matchup. So that means Only Friends going to be sent
Fair.
under the lower bracket. Now, what if we have a TrueRippers Only Friends rematch up in the lower bracket to make sure that either side's fighting not only for revenge, but also for keeping their tournament run and life alive? Now, that is going to be a banger of a match if that even tends to happen. What do you think? Do you think that with the way the lower bracket is, when it comes to that rematch, do you think it would be realistic to expect Only Friends to take that W up against TrueRippers?
You know, yes. I'll go with yes, just because of the fact that they won the previous best of 3, but you can see I'm not completely convinced. TrueRippers definitely will have different things in the bag. I think the map veto is going to go very differently than what we saw previously. Both the teams, you know, they'll not be going to the same maps again. So keeping that in mind, we may see another Ascent if that rematch happens. We may see the likes of TrueRippers, you know, go for that. But who knows? It's going to be all about the player performances as well. And right now, let's have a look at the MVP standings and see the player performances that have happened over the course of the entire Community Cup. We still have medals, you know, Ezzy, who is topping the charts, 37 kills, 23 deaths. You've got Knight Rider from Revenant, so we'll be seeing him later in just a while. Jivix on 3rd position, and then Dean from Paradise. Unfortunately, Dean has been eliminated, but he has surely left a mark at the MVP standings.
Yeah. Hey, one more thing that's on the top of my head. You have Medal versus Lethal, which is the other upper bracket semi-final matchup. So let's hypothetically say Lethal lose that one and Medal pull off a mad upset. You know, you'll have that rematch of Prime 5 and Lethal in the lower bracket as well. Dude, those brackets are looking sick.
Oh, definitely. The brackets are looking extremely interesting, and now, you know, we've got just 6 teams remaining. So with more and more teams getting eliminated, you know, every other day, it's shaping up to be a far, far better Community Cup, because a lot is going to be on the line. But for the time being, yeah, we've had our lower bracket matches of today ended. A final upper bracket matchup is going to be there once more. If you're still here, you know, at 8 p.m. we will have our next matchup. It is going to be Revenant up against Only Friends in the upper brackets. But till then, thank you all for tuning in. Again, once more, go down in the description, get yourself some top-notch monitors from LG Ultragear, some of the best processors in the market from Intel, the best peripherals, RAMs and SSDs from Crucial. You know, get yourself some Red Bull delivered to your doorstep. Scan the QR code right here that pops up every so often. And if you're watching us on Loco, well, the stream is about to end, so you can go and watch any of your other favorite streamers, any of your other favorite games that you like. Till then, it has been myself, CCV, alongside OG Dolores Chicken. We will be seeing you very, very shortly. Till then, take care and bye-bye.
from the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.